Welcome everyone to frame 33 of Gutterball. We had to redo the intro because I swore and YouTube doesn't like that. But we're feeling great otherwise. How's everyone week's doing? How everyone's feeling?
Good, good, doing
All right,
good.
sick.
Good. Yeah, it's been a
We
good
got our
week.
guest Rick joining us. Maybe kind of go into what you're about.
I'm Rick. I work in a small manufacturing company. I'm the procurement manager. Um, and I'm also going to school. I've known Paul for many years now, and I've known of Jackson, but not as close as Paul.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. You've known the family. There's so many of us. I
Yeah.
mean, it's hard to
There's
keep track, but
it's the 5-6.
yeah, exactly. Anyways, man, thanks for coming on. Really appreciate you
Yeah,
taking
happy
the
to have
time to
you.
come on the show. It's gonna be a great one, I feel. Lots of hot topics, a lot of things in the news going on lately, a lot of things we can cover here, a lot of interest as well. Jackson, is there anything you wanted to start the show off with before we kind of jump in? Maybe anything you want to
Um,
say?
no, nothing really. Just fucking, keep up the view count. We're seeing a lot more on TikTok and Instagram, which is nice. It's good to go on there and see like 100+ likes or even like a couple followers a day, which is nice.
Yeah, and
Other
I'm
than
pretty
that,
sure I just swore, but I'm just gonna bleep that out as if nothing ever happened. So that's okay.
okay, all right, that's probably good. I didn't even notice.
I couldn't tell.
They'll notice. They'll notice
They'll
though.
notice. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
they'll know.
algorithm knows.
Perfect.
They'll
It
pick it up.
knows.
Yeah,
Well, anyways,
immediately demonetize.
let's jump into China. Ricky was telling me
That
about
got
some
us demonetized.
suspect stuff.
You can't
China?
mention China. Yeah, you're done, dude.
Why
It's
can't I
over.
mention China?
Hey, oh, we're blacklisted.
We're
Just say
blacklisted.
we'll just say a major Southeast Asian country.
Yeah, okay. So, in other news, a major Southeast Asian country.
Superpower.
Superpower.
Yeah, superpower.
Probably the biggest one.
Yeah.
The biggest one you can think of.
No, yeah. The US, we just found just today, right? We just found a suspected Chinese surveillance balloon, a super high altitude Chinese surveillance balloon hanging out above Montana today. Just
What?
kind of floating around near a bunch of air bases where we keep nukes and stuff.
Yeah. So it's like literally a
Huh.
drone with cameras and stuff on it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, super high altitudes. Like it's higher than what airplanes fly at.
Whoa.
And people can like see it apparently. So they're saying that it must be humongous because
yeah.
it's way up there, but people can still see it like with the naked eye.
Yeah.
And they've made the executive decision. They were considering shooting it down.
Yeah.
Like heavily.
Yeah.
There was heavy considerations to shoot it down. They decided not to because they were afraid of public safety because it's so big they don't know where it would land after they shot it out of the sky.
Or what's in it.
Right.
Exactly. How'd they figure out it was
so-
from China?
They don't. I don't
They
know
admit
how
it?
they figured out it was from China. You have to imagine that they flew something up there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There's
I
a
figured
big
there's no way they
flag on
didn't.
the side of it.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a big red star, and I'm like, all right,
Yeah, okay.
playing the red sun or some shit.
Right. It says not Chinese.
Yeah, not China.
I
That's
think
creepy.
it's kind of almost a diss to Russia too. I mean, you'd suspect it's either Russia or China, but Russia's in such disarray. I don't think they could.
be doing something
be
like that right
capable
now.
of it.
Yeah. No, China. I think it's definitely probably obviously them for sure. I mean, if that's what they're saying, that stuff's creepy. Maybe they're mad about the whole Huawei thing because I'm sure people know most of our telecommunication towers were running Huawei technology stuff, which is
Stayed on. You can't trust that.
Yep, you can't, and the government installed it everywhere.
Yep.
Everywhere. But no,
Jesus.
we're living in a state of fear. So has China responded? Do they know that it's obviously been compromised?
They know it's been compromised. They've refused to officially respond. And this is a week before our Secretary of Defense or whatever
Yeah.
goes to China to meet with them. So it's kind of awkward timing. Be like, hey, you're spying on us. We caught you. You're bad at it. You know.
That kind of
Right.
reminds me though. We
What's
need to
up?
we need to save the blimps.
The blimps.
Yeah, there's only like 12 blimps that exist anymore.
Pretty
Are any of them
sad.
not Goodyear?
I don't know. That's a good question. I know there's a few Goodyear blimps left, but we need to. Why are we running out of blimps? I guess it's just because of helium. Isn't that what's in
Yeah,
there?
dude. There's no more of it. Pleading.
We're all running out of. What's the difference between a blimp and a zeppelin? Does anybody know? Off the top of their
One
head.
sounds way cooler.
Yeah,
One of them being
Zeppelin.
Zeppelin disaster. Yeah, sick.
Yeah,
Inside
dude.
It's
job.
more hardcore.
Inside job.
Yeah, that is.
I think blimps may be an American thing. Maybe I'm probably completely wrong. Fact check me on this. Maybe
I don't know.
Zeppelins
I don't know
are.
about that.
You don't know
Just
about
like it if he's wrong.
We should start doing Zeppelin races. That'd be the most boring fucking thing ever.
It'd suck. I
Or it
wouldn't
could be
wanna go to
really.
that.
I mean, you could allow contact, but it'd be really fun.
Hell yeah. Let them pop. How loud are they when they pop, you know?
It's two
That's the survivors of the Zeppelin.
It's 2 teams of 10 people in that little undercarriage like that are controlling
Yeah.
it, and 8 of them have guns and they're firing
Oh my
at
God.
they're firing at
Who
each
would
other.
watch that? I'd pay
Be
for
over
that.
in
Dude, that'd be so
seconds.
sick. We could just borrow some of China's drones, some of their high altitude, so we can see,
Yeah.
we can get up close. The live
They're
action.
weather
yeah.
balloons.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude,
they're weather
fucking-
balloons. We were worried.
Yeah, they're weather balloons, all right? Yeah, like back in ancient
Big
Rome,
storm
dude,
coming.
they used to fucking flood causoleums and have huge ass like battleship wars, of like water and shit. Like,
Dude, that's actually
bring that back.
gnarly. That is
oh, yeah,
cool.
that's
So
really
cool.
cool.
That they'd flood the
Yeah.
Colosseum. Dude, like, imagine you're just like about a wee peasant and you got like 2 gold doubloons left or whatever. You're going to see the battleship fights today. Oh,
Oh,
boy,
yeah.
chip, chip, cheerio.
Yeah.
They're British for some reason. And they go in there. And they're like, whoa, this is gnar, bro. What do they do? I mean, do you think they're putting
respond like that
alligators and
now.
sharks in there? Yeah. That's
Oh,
what they,
dude, they were doing
this
some
is
metal shit.
gnar. That's
Yeah.
what
Dude, it used to be able to order just barrels of monkeys back then. Like, that'd be awesome, dude. Just order a barrel of monkeys, like real monkeys, dude.
that was
Got a whole bunch
real?
of monkeys. Yeah, you could do that back then if you had the money. Fuck yeah, you could. They have all these monkeys. What are they gonna do with them? Put them in a barrel, send them over.
I'd
They're
like to
free
see. I'd
monkeys.
like to see 5 men armed with shields and spears versus like 30 monkeys in the
Monkeys.
Coliseum.
I'm
Yeah,
terrified.
They
of
would
I
win.
think the monkeys would.
I
Yeah,
think
they
they'd.
would.
I think they'd tear
They
your face
coordinate.
off.
Yeah, they would.
I'm monkeys freak chimps, right? Those
Yeah.
are terrifying to me.
Oh, I don't
horrifying.
look at those. Yeah.
I don't like
Scary as fuck.
baboons. I'm not a fan of those
No.
guys. The chapped ass. I don't like that.
No, they're mean, dude. And now they're entering the Stone Age. They're getting smarter. They're evolving, guys. This is it, dude.
They're making
Oops.
tools.
I'm not worried about. Yeah, I'm not worried about diseases. I'm worried about them. We're worried about the wrong threat.
All right. I don't think we should be
They're gonna
worried about
develop
COVID.
diseases.
Yeah, we should be worried about the baboons and the chimp population as a whole. They're
Go
organizing.
off. Yeah, they're just getting smarter.
They're getting smarter.
Human population goes down, chimps go up.
Yeah, exactly.
So other than like China being suspect as shit as usual, Russia's been suspect as shit as usual. I guess we're gonna be sending them some tanks. It's not just us. A lot of other countries are gonna be throwing in some tanks to help out the Ukrainian folks over there fighting Russia. What do you guys think about that? I think we're sending 33 Abrams, and some other European countries are kind of sending between like 5 and 10. Even Norway's sending some, like 2 or 3 or something.
Yeah, it's kind of from my perspective, it's kind of a frustrating situation for us because Ukraine's been asking. So the way the EU is kind of formed, like Poland and Norway and a bunch of these countries wanted to send Ukraine these tanks for a hot minute because they're not at war. We don't need these tanks.
Yeah,
And if Ukraine falls, Russia's at our doorstep. So
exactly.
let's send the tanks. Let's use them. They're in the continent already. It's very easy for them to get to Ukraine. But the way it works is they have to get permission from Germany. Germany's the economic powerhouse of the entire EU, and they kind of leverage that in the creation of it. And so they had to get permission from Germany to do it. And I don't want to swear. Germany is kind of cowardly.
Yeah. You got 40
So-
seconds, then you can swear.
Yeah, right. They're cowardly in that they wouldn't allow tanks to be sent. They're Leopard, or I think it's Leopard tanks or Panzer tanks or whatever. Not Panzers; those are super old. I
Yeah.
think they're called Leopards. They wouldn't allow these tanks to be sent unless America sent tanks first, and they made a big deal of this multiple times publicly, which just kind of showed the international community that Europe won't take on any risk if America doesn't spearhead it.
Yeah.
Which is frustrating. It's your area. We're we're being interventionists again, which I support because they're our
Yeah.
allies, right? But
Yeah.
deal with you do something on your own.
It's also just
It's
like
good.
if we just don't send these and Russia overthrows Ukraine and takes it, guess who's next?
Yeah,
Poland,
right,
Germany, literally
right, right.
everybody's surrounding them. It's like they should be
Mhm.
spearheading stuff, but I get it. They want the great power in the West to kind of
Yeah.
lead the
Well, and
charge.
it's made a lot of European leaders angry at Germany because everyone but Germany has wanted to do this,
Yeah.
and Germany's been holding up saying America has to be involved. They have to take the brunt of the of the um, any kind of conflict of it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the reason is kind of a reason we didn't do it for a long time is because it doesn't really make sense for us to send Abrams. So the Leopard tanks that Germany has, they're
Yeah.
pretty simple. Ukraine already knows how to use them.
Yeah.
They're very easy to train because everyone in Europe uses them. They run on diesel, right? So they're pretty straightforward tanks.
Yeah.
Abrams run on jet fuel.
Yeah, yeah. Abrams are on jet fuel. They literally like were they talking about like they're sending either it's somewhere in Ukraine or they're sending people out of the country to go learn how to use
Yes.
the Abrams and train on them like groups of like soldiers or people, and then they're like going to be bringing tanks in cuz tanks are for like basically taking back the land, right? You need like some
Mhm.
big armored vehicle that can traverse like this. Well, right now I think it's pretty freaking cold there, but I mean like as it
Yeah.
becomes spring, that's where you might see a problem with the tanks. Like getting bogged down in shit and mud, I would assume maybe. But now is the time to get them there, get them trained now, and get them across land as quick as you can. But yeah, they run
Yeah.
on jet fuel. They have like a super complicated diesel engine system. Like you need like a full platoon. There's literally why like it's a tank platoon of dudes. Like there's
Mhm.
the dude like the main captain guy, I think. And there's like the guy that points the freaking cannon, the other guy that gets the coordinates of like or is looking for like actual like enemies in the area and stuff like that. I have no clue how that works now modernized. I can imagine there's maybe a lot less people in the tank, or maybe there's more. I don't know. But no,
Mm.
that stuff's really interesting, man. I'm glad we're sending tanks because, like as Rick said,
Mhm.
like what happens if Russia just overthrows Ukraine? What's going to stop them from continuing to go? I mean, Putin just wants to take back anything and everything they used to have, and he wants to reestablish the what do you call it?
The
Soviet
Russian Empire.
Union, yeah, the Russian
Yeah.
Empire. You know, like that stuff's spooky. Jack, what do you think about all these tanks?
I don't know. I really don't have a lot of opinion or say on it, but stop sending money to Ukraine, maybe.
What?
I don't know. Maybe a little
Really?
bit.
Just
A
a
little
little
bit of
bit?
money.
I don't know.
Well, I
I
just look at the state of our like fucking economy and shit, and it's just like kind of fucked up, but it's fine, I do understand, like,
yeah.
you guys make good points, like you don't want it to spread to all this shit, kind of like us going to Vietnam. You don't want you to stop the spread, and this time maybe we'll do it right. Um, but
Well, it's
I
good. Go
what
ahead.
was that?
I was gonna say the main point, Jack, is like these are tanks that are just literally sitting, not being used. So it's like it's
Oh
not like
yeah,
we're
use
giving them
them. Oh
money.
yeah.
We're just
No, yeah,
literally
of
just
course.
giving them equipment that's just like been sitting there for who knows how long, right? Because there's no way we were just like, oh, they need 33 tanks, get them on the line, start building them. It was literally just like, here's
No, yeah.
33 dusty ass tanks, like let's send them
Yeah.
over
There
there.
you go.
One,
I see your
I
point
agree
though.
with you though, Jack.
I
Yeah.
there
But
are like definitely both sides of this. Should we keep sending money? Should we stop? I do believe there should be a cap, but also like it's in our best interest right now to invest our money in we're literally we're not fighting the war. They're fighting the war for us. We're just
That's true.
helping them, like
Mhm.
so I was just gonna say I think I agree with the money aspect, but it at least so my two things with the money is it's coming out of the military budget, right? It's not like being taken from anywhere else.
yeah.
And I just think it's like as far as because we spend a lot of money on the military.
Mhm.
And so far, we've spent the equivalent of, I think, 6% of our military budget sending to Ukraine. And
Oh, no
and
shit.
right now, as far as a return on investment, 6% of our military budget has crippled the superpower
Yeah,
that
dude,
is
like
Russia. And I
like
think that's funny. At some
it
point, we
is
do have
funny.
to. It can't
It's
go on
pretty neat.
forever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
And I
like
think that financial responsibility, fiscal responsibility, always has to be present in these. Otherwise, the spending gets out of control.
yeah.
So you
Mhm.
have good points there because we can't just bankroll them up forever. Otherwise, they just become a satellite.
Yeah, and like I don't know. Sometimes with like countries such as China and Russia, like I'm curious about our intel because don't they say doesn't Russia technically have the most nukes out of every country and the United States is second, or is that China?
No, technically it's Russia, but who knows how well they work, right?
That's what I'm wondering.
True.
How well do they
Mhm.
work? How old are they? And are they fudging the numbers, or is our intel right? Like, intel's not always right about that stuff. I really wonder because like every time we've escalated things, every time like such as like us sending the tanks, you're like, oh, there's gonna be consequences. Like the Russian, that's what Russia says, and it's just like, what? Nothing's happened yet. I just look outside and I see you guys just see a flash in the window, and I just
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
like offline immediately. But like
Yeah.
seriously though, like what are they gonna do? There's no way he drops nukes unless he's really backed into a corner, and I have I have doubts in that ever happening ever.
Mhm.
Well, we knew they would invade before anyone else. I remember when Biden was ringing the alarm about this, everyone said he was crazy. And so I think our intel's pretty good. I
Yeah.
mean, we knew months ahead of time. He just said out loud, he's like, they're gonna invade, by the way.
Yeah.
They're
Oh,
about
did
to
he? I
invade
didn't know
Ukraine.
that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, and everyone said, "No, you're warmongering," because it's a. I'm not trying to get political, but it's a democratic trope. Democrats go into wars, right,
Yeah.
as a trope, and then Republicans kind of tend to get out of them. And so they're like, "Oh, you're going to start a war with Russia, right?"
Mhm.
um, but he was right, and Russian propaganda played it down the whole time. They're like, "No, we're just doing military exercises," and the exercises were to invade, but
Yeah. Yeah. You know, um, Ricky, what do you think was the entire stem of why they invaded Ukraine? Do you think it was because the West was getting a little too close for comfort around Russia, like as far as our investment in Ukraine and other countries around there? Or like, what do you
yes.
think is, yeah, you think it's just the sole, like, I don't want these guys that have kind of been opposing to us the entire time getting closer to our doorstep kind of deal, and they felt surrounded?
Yeah, I've been I nerd out on like Russia and China, the two superpowers of the world.
Yeah.
EU should just be a country itself because it's fragmented enough where anyone could topple them, obviously if they wanted to, because they
Yeah.
can't agree on anything.
Yeah.
But I really enjoy the rise of Putin and the rise of like Xi Jinping. Putin has always believed this lie that so Gorbachev was the last leader of the Soviet Union,
Before it
and he
collapsed,
thought that
right?
right. He was in charge as it collapsed.
Mhm.
And Putin believes this lie that NATO and the US told Gorbachev, look, if this happens, we promise that NATO won't expand.
Yeah.
And that never really on paper ever happened.
Yeah.
Um, but Putin believes that it did, and he's repeated it many times, and that's been his rationale for almost everything that he's done, such as rearming the country, and kind of having us, because we do. I mean, America does the same thing. It's kind of a playbook that we do. You always have to have an enemy. There's always an enemy that you have to unite
Yeah.
against, right?
Mhm.
After 9/11, it was just the idea of terror in the Middle East. We have to
Yeah.
unite against this. Um, and Russia does it with America. And that's the current propaganda machine, is that they're not actually fighting Ukraine anymore. They're
They're
fighting the
fighting
United
us.
States and NATO.
Yeah.
And we don't help that narrative, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah, we don't help that
But
narrative, and also, like, I feel bad for, there's definitely obviously good Russian people there that probably don't want
Mhm.
this war going on. There's also people that are so brainwashed by the propaganda there, and it's just like,
Yeah.
I have to say though too, maybe I'm brainwashed by the propaganda. Who knows what's real? But I don't know. Like, I
Mhm.
feel like we're obviously kind of on the better side of this thing. I mean, we didn't invade a country,
Yeah, that's true.
so like,
We're not
Recently.
yeah,
assholes.
recently,
Yeah.
recently. I mean, I'm just, the reason why in a couple weeks I'm getting like a handgun and gonna start buying and collecting guns is essentially because like I don't want to wake up one day and it be like Red Dawn. I see red smoke coming down from the sky and fucking Russian paratroopers. I'm like, okay, like,
Alright.
like I don't
Right,
want some
right.
Red Dawn situation going on.
Nah, you'll be alright.
I'm gonna be honest with you
I
though.
agree.
I don't think there's any way there's gonna ever be a boots on ground war in the United States, and you'd have to be really stupid to attempt to do that. I feel
Mhm. It's not gonna
to
happen.
try like
Just
to
gonna get
actually
nuked.
ground invade.
No, I don't think so. I agree with you. I don't think that'll ever happen.
No, it's not gonna
I
happen.
see a
Oh,
civil war happening before that.
Oh yeah, 100%.
let me walk down Skid Row. Oh, nothing bad. I have nothing bad. I have crackheads coming out of fucking alleyways. It'd be like Vietnam, except They're not coming out of trees. They're coming out of like newspaper stands and shit. You know,
They're coming out of
underneath
tents.
Great, yeah, tents, yeah, tents and shit.
Could you imagine though, like Russian paratroopers landing in like some of the worst places in New Orleans and all the
Chicago.
gang,
Yeah.
in Chicago, and all the gang guys be like, "What the fuck?" And they're all just loading up and they're just driving by.
Yeah. That'd be fucking awesome, dude. Yeah, it'd be a good movie.
The soldiers realize the gangbangers are better armed than they are.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you have to be real dumb. I mean, I don't know the statistic, but I know a good chunk of Americans are armed. It's like you're literally invading. You know, maybe not everybody has military training, obviously, but you're literally invading a country of people that everyone's got a stick that can poke holes from a distance. You know, like
Well, we have enough guns to arm everyone, anyways, if we had to.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
No
hey,
shortage.
hey, Bill, they're invading. You got a gun, your neighbor? I didn't buy one. Here you go. You know, like, load up. Get in the back of the S10.
Freedom rounds.
You know, freedom rounds. Honestly, though, dude, I can't imagine anything, you know, other than like, you know, 9/11 happening to unite us, but like something like that to happen would really unite the country. Like like if something like that happened, it would literally be like everything aside, like all the political bullshit I feel, and it's like if we're getting attacked, people are gonna get fucked up. Like that's the main enemy, 100%.
That's what I'm saying. Aliens come by and are trying to fuck with us, dude. We'd be good. The world would come together, dude. That's what we need.
Yeah, dude.
These aliens fucks to come over, you know, kind of the Watchmen plot.
Yeah, I've talked to other people about that. Like, imagine. I'm glad that we're not bad actors, right, as a country.
Yeah.
Because imagine how terrified the world would be if we decided to unite with like a China. If America decided to pair up with China, it's like, let's take over Europe. What are they gonna do? Stop us?
What are they gonna do?
You know?
Yeah, you think about it, that would be
meta.
bad.
They could. It would be
really bad.
unstoppable.
We would be unstoppable. Like, well,
Ours.
yeah, I would say like obviously the only other bigger superpower than us is China. Like I can't. There's nobody else that comes close to us. I don't think. No.
We thought Russia, but obviously.
Yeah, we thought. Yeah, obviously not. So.
Dude, have you seen that YouTube channel CivDiv, CIVDIV? Have you seen that guy? That guy, he lives in the United States. He's went on like over to Ukraine a couple times and filmed missions like of his GoPro. And like literally like he fires a javelin at a Russian BMG, dude. Like it's gnarly. Like he's in like the war zone. But then like there's a lot of footage he has to cut, right? Because there was a point in time where they were like breaching a house and they got hit by like a mortar strike and literally like half his team got killed. Like he was unscathed. A bunch of people like suffered a bunch of injuries, but it's gnarly, dude. Like he's done like this first mission he went over there, he was like sneaking around like Russian compounds that have taken over Ukraine and like planting IEDs and like landmines like to like take down like their tanks and stuff. And they're like being as quiet as they can. It's so scary, dude. But it's like all GoPro footage.
I can't imagine how on edge, or would you think you get to a point where you have so much adrenaline where you're not scared in the moment, you know what I mean?
I think I think that's what I mean. Also too, in those times, I mean, I've obviously never experienced combat and never want to, but it's also just like you have to imagine in those moments, like even in these videos, these guys are joking. Like some of the Ukraine guys are joking with the American guys that are there, and it's like it's almost like you need to have that sense of like positivity and jokingness to kind of take away from the moment that you could literally be killed any freaking second. You know, like there's literally like a Russian tank like 6 football fields away from them, you know, like over that tree line. Like it could just turn and decimate all of them, you know? They're hiding behind an outhouse loading the javelin. Like, you know, like,
even like fucking Carter was saying, like with the army, like they train you, man. Like especially those guys doing that shit, they probably broke them down, dude. Like I couldn't imagine how much tougher you'd be if you just go through some of those boot camps. I always wondered that. Like, I don't want to do the army, but like a boot camp, like just really see if I could do it, you know? But I don't want to serve or anything. I just want to see, you know?
Go through just basic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
Like, I mean, I don't know what basic is now, but I think when my buddy went through it, like he had to crawl under barbed wire where they're firing a gun over him, like literally firing like live rounds, like over the fucking like barbed wire, you know? Like that's crazy.
Pretty cool. I want to get CS gassed.
You want to get gas?
That'd be fun for the cast, Paul. Me and you can get gassed and just do the cast right after.
That would be honestly hilarious. Once we have like an in-person studio, it's like a mid-show, someone tosses a tear gas can in there and shuts the door. Yeah, and we have to put on gas masks. Yeah, we're trying to talk about topics and we're just like crying. And Jack's vomiting. Yeah.
It'd be really fun.
Yeah,
do it.
it'd be a great
Yeah,
time.
fucking
Good time.
You know, it'd be
hilarious.
really funny is if mid-show I just shot you with one of the like a taser, like with the bronze.
You don't know it's coming.
Yeah, you don't know
Yeah,
it's
you don't
coming.
know it's
Yeah,
coming.
it's Jack's just like another. Just immediately tase.
Jesus.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, Ben. Make me use your taser.
Yeah. Next show, Jack pulls out a paintball gun, is just pelting my forehead with it. I just have welts. Just like,
Yeah.
Paintballs hurt.
dude,
Oh, yeah,
they
they
do.
do.
They hurt so bad. Like, I never got into paintball. I was more into airsoft, and like to each their own, right? But I have a ton of airsoft stuff I just need to get rid of because I don't use it anymore. It's a super fun, airsoft's really fun, dude. Mainly because the reason why I got into it is because a lot of like airsoft guns are obviously resembling real world guns, whereas like paintball, you got these weird
They look
looking things
goofy.
with a big hopper.
Mhm.
They're kind of goofy, and it's more of like it's a competitive sport for sure, paintball. But like you can obviously know when someone's been hit, whereas with airsoft,
Right.
it's not like I wasn't hit though,
Concrete.
dude. You didn't hit me.
Got an honor code.
Yeah, the honor code kind of deal. Like that happened to me in some of those bigger games down here. Like when we had those big, it was like 200 versus 200 domination, like those massive games. And
Sounds pretty crazy.
it was fun. Like there's medics and there's all types of stuff, and like people got grenade launchers. There's people that brought like modified golf carts with like 50 cal airsoft guns on them. Like it was gnarly. But like you literally like you would shoot someone you clearly shot, and they just like keep walking and act as if. And then like there's this one dude that was like sniping like a lot of our squad. I remember Weston was going to flank, and then I went like around the left side, and we went like way around the ridge, me and Garrett. And I'm like, I'm hitting this guy clearly that's in a ghillie suit. Like I'm hitting him, and he's just like acting like nothing happened. So I literally like snuck up behind him, flipped it on a full auto, and just dumped it into his back. I was like, he's like, I'm like, got you now, right? You're out now, right? And he's like, fuck you, man. It's like, well, I can clearly see you getting hit. Like,
Yeah.
I like any type of organized shit like that. It's pretty fun.
it is awesome. It's not cheap though. Like any hobby,
No.
it's expensive to just get into it. I mean, between a gun, like if you want a nice gun out of the box, you don't have to modify, and like gear and everything. Like, dude, literally I think it's called Crytac makes like some of the best rifles you can get out of the box, like airsoft brand. They're like $500-$600. You can buy like a Ruger base AR for that much. Like a real
Yeah.
gun. You could go buy a real
Protect
gun.
yourself.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like the airsoft gun I have, it was originally like a $300-$400 gun, but I bought it from a kid at school who used it once for like $30. I still have it, and I've had to replace a few parts on it because it's so fucking old. But
It's a sick
Nice.
gun.
it has an air leaking problem that I need to fix, some O-ring or something, and there's just like leaking air. But anyways,
30 bucks.
yeah, fucking $30 at the time. I was like, damn, I'm balling, Like an AR was sick for it being
Oh,
like
yeah.
or M4A1 for like being base model, but
I've seen
Yeah, I
that.
remember when you got that, we went upstairs, actually in this room, and we were taking shots at Weston from the window
yeah,
and his friends.
yeah,
And,
yeah.
like that shit hurt, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
dude.
you were
He
just
was,
fucking.
they
Just
were
shooting
out on
so
a
much.
trampoline. I'm like, ting, ting,
Yeah.
ting. Yeah,
Just keep shooting until they could figure it out.
Is that Paul's old room?
yeah.
Oh yeah, it's Paul's old room. Yeah.
Oh, that's the window that we would lower down.
Yeah, let's tell that
Fucking-
story. Yeah,
What
yeah,
would you do? What the fuck?
yeah. Go ahead,
We were
Rick.
having a LAN party. I think we were playing Rust. Was that when we all got Rust?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
played Rust. I think Ivan was over. Eric, Aaron.
Aaron, yeah.
And
There's a
it's-
lot of boys.
That's when he had like a seizure on the bed.
Yeah.
Is that
The
not?
fuck?
Maybe I had a seizure. I don't remember. Well, obviously,
It
I
was-
wouldn't remember a seizure, but I wouldn't think I would.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think
It's
you
so-
guys said I literally had a seizure or something.
The fuck?
You
No,
yeah.
what? That's not good. Probably like brain damage from that.
I mean,
Yeah, Paul had a seizure.
probably.
Let him foam out over there.
It was really
Yeah,
fun
yeah.
night though. But we had I think a bunch of pop cans. Or was it beer? I can't remember.
No, I think it was pop, and we were mixing whiskey with the pop.
Yes.
So it was
That's
like
right. We
it
had
was like,
Captain
I think-
Morgan. We had the purple bag, right? Yeah.
No, yeah, it was Crown Royal. We had the purple bag, and then we had
That's right.
yeah, we had Coca-Cola, and we were like, man, we need to keep these Cokes cold. And so like Aaron had this genius idea. We took an extension cord and wrapped it around the 12-pack, and it was the middle of winter. We're
Lowered
hoisting
it
it out the window down into the snow for it to get cold. We'd wait a couple hours, and we'd hoist it back up, and all the Cokes were cold.
Well, and we
Out
had
of
the
that
window open the whole time because it was so
like
hot.
a-
We
it
had
was
like
1,000
5 PCs.
Yeah,
in
Oh,
there.
yeah, 5
dude,
PCs
yeah.
and like 5 boys. There's like 1,000
Mhm.
degrees in there.
These are old PCs, so they all had like 6 fans, right? They were it was old PCs. Everything ran hot.
Yeah.
SLing
Yeah.
2760s in 100 degrees Celsius.
You know, I honestly kind of remember it. I don't think it was a seizure. I think it was because we left the window open. I slept on the bed that was against the window, and
It was
like,
funny.
and it was a mix of like a ton of alcohol for like a young person, and like I think it was just that, and like
Alcohol
I was
person.
literally like freezing to death. Like I
Yeah,
was
I
just
don't
like,
think you actually
Yeah.
had seizure, but you were
Yeah.
shivering so violently
He's
hard.
fucking so cold. It's like fucking negative degrees out.
And, yeah, and I think you woke Eric up, and Eric was like,
Eric's like,
Eric was worried.
yeah, I mean, as you should have
didn't-
been, yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure
me
Eric
too.
took Adderall that day and stared at a light bulb for like 3 hours. Or something.
What the fuck?
Like before he came over, or like at our place?
At our place, I think we were all playing wrestling, and just like looking
Wait,
at
was
a
that
fucking light
was
bulb.
that the same night we had all the oatmeal cream pies?
Do
Do you remember that?
It was.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Aaron, remember that Jackson has a similar
fat
shirt.
cakes.
Remember? Yeah. Do you remember the like butterfly style like memory foam chair you could sink in? I had. Do you remember that thing? That
Yeah.
black one? Yeah. So
Oh yeah.
Aaron kept eating the fucking cream pies, but when he set the box down, he set it like open side down on the butterfly chair. And I'm like, I want a cream pie. I grabbed the box and ripped it up. And then like cream pies went everywhere. And like 3 or 4 of them hit the ceiling fan. And one got chucked out the fucking window at like light speed. I was like, whoa! Like the cream pies went everywhere,
Oh my
dude.
god!
Like what?
I
Like
forgot
like
that
the little
was- I
Debbie
forgot.
things?
Yeah, the
or,
little
like, these
Debbie
knockoff
cream
pies?
pies. Yeah.
Okay.
Like
All right.
like
That's pretty
individually
funny.
packaged.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
I forgot about that. Was so fucking. They were so funny. I forgot about
Because the
that.
ceiling fan was going like dunk, and one
Yeah.
went. We looked outside, and there's one in the snow over there.
Yeah, we tried to find it with a flashlight.
Yeah, where's the
you
cream
find
pie?
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a cream pie.
That was
Yeah,
that
dude,
was the same night before that. We all went to Pigs, right? And we had like, no, wait, that was a different night.
That's a different land party, but still, tell the story. This is a good one.
Just before that land party, we all had a similar setup. We were gonna get mixies, went to Pigs, get mixies, cream pie, or fat cakes, whatever.
Yeah.
Chips. And so there's like there's thousands of dollars of computer hardware in the back of my car. Paul's computer's in there, my computer's in there, Eric and Aaron's. I'm pretty sure we had a shit ton.
Monitors.
And we all go
everything.
in, we goon into whatever Pigs, get a bunch of just junk food, whatever we want. And we go back and this Eric, this fucking this prick. We go back and my door's just open.
It's
The
the
door's
door in
just-
the
he
car.
just
It's just wide.
Got out of the car and just kept walking. He never closed the door.
And
all
all
the
of our
PCs were just in there,
are
just-
It was fine. They
Yeah.
were all there. Everything was there. We're like, Eric, you were very mad. I remember you being like actually pretty angry, and I was mad too. But I was like, Jesus Christ, like.
Well, at first I was like someone, because when I first saw it, I was like someone break into my car.
Yeah. The one time we have all the hardware in there. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Like, holy cow, guys, we just lost everything.
It's all gone.
This is in high school. I can't just replace that. That's not.
Yeah, no. That's like you saved up, for a long while to get that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, $7.25 an hour. I can't. That does get replaced
Right.
quickly.
Yeah, exactly.
Brutal.
Good times. We had a lot of good times. But yeah, Jack, classic room. A lot of good times happened in that
dude,
room.
I was just thinking about that, like how many, because like when you said like, oh, we had to leave the window open because it's so hot because so many people, like that just brought back memories of me doing the same shit in this room. I'm like, oh yeah, we had to keep the window open because it's so fucking hot. I'm like, how many generations of like groups of friends, Paul, were in this room doing shit like that? Probably like 4 or 5 at
Yeah,
least.
that's weird to think
They were all
about.
our brothers, you
That's
know.
awesome.
So many fucking people.
I'm surprised you never adopted the basement and you let it turn into a storage room.
Mom wouldn't let me even go down there. Wasn't even a fucking option, even if I wanted to.
Damn.
You ruined
Yeah,
it.
it
Paul.
would be nice to go down there.
Weston ruined
Pretty
it.
gnarly. Yeah, how would
Oh,
you?
was he after you?
Yeah, he had it after me.
Yeah,
Oh, then he did. There you
Yeah, he ruined it.
but he blew it.
go.
Then he blew it. Jack, can we talk about how our family puke bucket was the same bucket we used to clean the bathrooms?
Oh, okay. I know what
Which
you
it
mean by that
was. And speaking of which, I have a visual, so you could see. This is that bucket. I had this because I was sick and I just never brought it down. I kind of forgot about it. And it was something like this, an ice cream bucket.
It was like a
But
Kemp's bucket or
we
something.
would we would throw up into this, and then my mom would proceed to clean the kitchen the next day. The same bucket. And
Yeah.
So when we'd be sick, we'd be inhaling the fumes of the cleaning shits
Yeah.
over this. And he'd be like, "Oh, what am I smelling? Oh yeah, it's fucking bleach." And then get even more sick. Now I'm throwing up into it. And it's an endless cycle of vomit and chemical
Dude,
cleaner. And it's just
I can
yeah.
smell. like I have a
Smells wicked.
nostalgic smell of like pine sol from a Kemp's ice cream bucket that used to sit on our back landing basement
Yeah.
stairs. Our mom would clean the houses with it. Oh, Paul, you're sick. You need something to vomit in. And I remember like before I was about to vomit it, like inhaling the pine sol and bleach fumes that were left over, and I'm like, oh, this is making me
You're gonna
more
make me
sick.
throw
Oh,
up,
and then I
dude.
just started vomiting even more. I'm like, ah, and it's
Yeah.
like once you start vomiting in the bucket, you keep vomiting because of the. I'm pretty sure I got like inhaled like chemicals. Like I was getting high
Well,
and sick at the same time as a kid.
problem was they stopped buying ice cream in the gallon buckets, so they didn't recycle it. Usually they keep recycling the buckets, but at one point it was just the same bucket for like a year, and man, it just got recycled. And that dawned on me the other day, and I had to tell Paul, and I'm like, "This totally happened."
Yeah, that was bad
Gross. It's
news.
disgusting.
Like I just
Yeah.
remember like 2 a.m. in the living room, like, oh,
So
like
sick.
yeah, I'm so sick. I'm looking at the bucket and I'm like, oh, you know, like, and then you
Oh,
inhale
God.
that pine sol smell and you're like, whoa, you know. It wasn't a good time. It
Oh, it was
wasn't good.
gross, disgusting, very fucking gross.
You guys remember that Leonardo DiCaprio movie Blood Diamond? You guys ever seen that one?
Yes.
Ricky, have you
haven't
seen that
seen it.
movie? Okay, so like long story short, like you know how like diamonds are like a thing in Africa, you know, like there's a bunch of warlords, they have a bunch of kids, you know, mining for diamonds, a bunch of people, whatever. And like Leonardo DiCaprio is like, you know, runs into this guy that escapes a diamond mine and he found like one of the biggest diamonds and he like hid it, you know, and so like he tries to help him go get the diamond, blah blah blah. Long story short, do you think that same thing's gonna happen with the cobalt, aka / lithium mines we have going on over there right now? Do you think like
There's
do you,
gonna be a movie
do you think
about
there
it.
could be like a sequel with Leonardo DiCaprio where like maybe he like because he died in Blood Diamond, you know, that's pretty much
Yeah.
interpreted. So what if like DiCaprio's like still alive and it's like, you know, cobalt chunks, you know, instead of Blood
could-
Diamond, it's cobalt chunks is the sequel,
I-
you know?
I could see that. Have you seen how there's cobalt, lithium? A lot of lithium goes on in South America. They have these lithium flats.
Yeah.
Have you seen how they mine sulfur?
No.
Oh my goodness.
How bad is it?
It's terrible. You're supposed to.
You're
supposed
supposed to
be
like
all
masked
machined.
up and stuff, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
no, they're not masked up. They barely have a shirt on. They'll haul up these big chunks of just yellow sulfur. Like, oh my goodness. Ugh.
Metal,
You need
dude.
sulfur for all that electronics too.
You do.
But lithium,
yeah, it's-
lithium, you know, if anyone likes finances, not financial advice, lithium stocks though, they're gonna make money.
Yeah, it's just gonna
No
keep
shit,
going
yeah.
up. Yeah, yeah.
Right, exactly.
Everything we're trying to make batterized or batteryized, however you say that, you know, energized, whatever, running off batteries, like, you know, it's just all just gonna we're trying to literally make everything run off batteries, it seems, which is like cool, but
Mhm.
also like it's just about, if not as environmentally damaging as just fossil fuels, right? I mean, like, what do you know about that, Ricky?
Yeah. I know that it's pretty hypocritical.
It is. It's like, oh, I
The
drive.
green energy, getting
Yeah,
to green
Yeah.
energy is not very green. Like, have you like when the Prius first came out, they had to make the batteries for the Prius, the way they make a Prius, and it's probably changed, but the first iteration of Priuses, to make one Prius was equivalent to driving like an H2 Hummer for a year straight. Just nonstop driving because they had to like burn mercury. They had to do some really finagling way to create these batteries for the Priuses. That was terrible. The way they make those cars are not. It will never offset what it took to make.
yeah.
So it's a lot of marketing.
It
It's
is.
unfortunately. I mean, there's some good stuff too, but I think eventually it'll get to that point. But it's pretty hypocritical, and it does not really offset itself. It's
Yeah.
good to try though.
You know, we've talked about this plenty, but I'm still not sold on electric cars, especially for our climate. Especially not Teslas.
They have to.
Oh.
I think by the end of the decade, I agree right now. I think by the end of the decade, some other company is gonna. They have to make a battery that can last a really long time and charge really fast.
Polestar's on the way to that, man. I feel like they're like a low key, like what do you call, like an underground like electric car
sleeper.
manufacturer. Yeah, they're sleepers, and
Mhm.
like I feel like they've been making a lot of moves in that field. Yeah, they only have like a few models, but I feel like that's the way to do it. There's no need to have all these. Start with 1 or 2 models, perfect the shit out of them,
Yeah.
and then go into like
Yeah.
trucks and larger on-road things. Like there's no reason to get
I
electric trucks right away because they cannot
Yeah.
handle towing.
No, they
The
can't. That's what I'm
the
saying.
Ford Lightning, the new Ford Lightning is an obvious like we should not have electric trucks right now. Like it's a great example of like why they just like you go look on like Ford's instructions and they're like, "Oh, is your battery like draining because of towing? Try turning off your HVAC." So just not having AC or heat to conserve battery. It's like cool, but I want that creature comfort and I want to be able to tow stuff. So I'm just going to buy a truck that, runs off gas. So
Right, because that can actually pull it and it's dependable.
yeah, exactly. Because I think they were saying like literally the range, 3/4 of the range was cut down towing something at like what they rated it
It was
at.
like
That's
90 miles.
Yeah, it was ridiculous before needing a full charge again.
Mhm.
Or like those people in super cold climates that go on road trips with their Tesla and then they have to go to the charge station and it like literally has to use energy to warm the battery too, is what people don't understand in order to charge it efficiently. So it just like you're sitting there for like a couple hours, which is like, I don't know, man. We're just not there yet, obviously.
No.
I do 100% back electric bicycles, electric scooters. That's sick. Like for
I have an
small
electric
town,
bike.
I feel like yeah, you do. I feel like a lot of like people in smaller towns and stuff for commuting. That's perfect for summertime. Like it doesn't need to go a crazy amount of range. Just needs to get you to and from work on at least one charge. And a majority of them, like even though like I had an electric scooter temporarily, like that would get me to and from work 4 days out of the week without having to be charged, like back and forth. Like that's pretty good.
Mhm.
I don't know.
It's fun.
Yeah, how is your like what electric bike do you have, Rick? Like how often were you using it and how fast does it
I
go?
have the brand is Rad Rover. They're one of the bigger ones.
It's rad.
Yeah, the bike itself is huge. I kind of regret I love it, but if I could do it over again, I get a smaller one. I've got the fat tire, whatever, right? It's humongous. So the company I work for makes stuff for motorcycles, so everyone drives motorcycles.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm the punk driving a electric bike.
Yeah.
But it's so big. I park it next to the motorcycles. My bike is longer than some motorcycles.
Holy crap.
It's huge.
Oh shit. Huh.
It's humongous. But I really do like it. And there's different ranges, right? I have mid-tier for the speed. Mine maxes out at like 20 miles an hour if I don't pedal,
Yeah.
right? But that's for me, I'm like, that's fine. What I did realize is that after getting it, I want a motorcycle. I
Oh, yeah.
want to go fast. It's really fun.
It is, dude.
It's a ton of fun. And I contributed. So on the lake walk here, I would take the lake walk. I have a really nice commute. So I would probably go during the summertime. I'd probably bike to work 3 or 4 days a week.
Yeah.
Which I enjoyed, but sometimes it'd be really hot and I don't want to get to work and be sweaty or whatever.
Yeah.
But I would take the lake walk. I had a really, really nice commute. I could take the lake walk. Basically 70% of the trip was on the lake walk. So I was on the lake. It was really, really nice. And I would do the same back. And I think I contributed to ruining it for everyone. I don't think it was me entirely. Yeah. So when I first started that summer, there was no rules or laws on biking on the lake walk. People bike on the lake walk all the time.
Yeah.
By that fall, and there was a couple incidents that made me think that I contributed to it. By that fall, I don't know if you know this, Jackson. There's now a speed limit on the lake walk. It's absurd. It's 10 miles an hour. You can run faster than that. And it's like a big fine. It's like a $300 fine. It's insane. And I think I contributed to it because I would be, I guess, a little selfish. I'd be booking it down the lake walk.
Yeah.
Which is fine if people walk normally on there. But you get a group of, we'll just get Karens, right? That'd walk 3 to 5 in a row at a time, right? Take up both lanes. And so I'd run into them around a blind corner. I've never hit them. But if you get anywhere close to hitting them, they all freak out, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And that happened about 3 times. I never apologized to him because it's not my fault that they're walking like idiots.
They
Yeah,
also
dude.
always walk super spaced out. They never stay on the
Yes,
one
they
half.
take up the
There's
entire
literally
thing.
a line on majority of the lake walk, I'm
Dude.
pretty sure. It's like, stay on one fucking side, idiot.
I got a bell.
Right.
I got a light. They don't move.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Or dude, it's like I work a retail job, man. It's like, oh, maybe don't put your cart vertical in the fucking aisle so no one could get by you, and
Yeah.
then go, "Oops, my bad." Yeah, it's your bad, you fucking idiot. Why is it sideways? Like, you fucking stupid. Like, yeah, I just want to say that shit all the time, man. It's a problem. People are really dumb with how they walk.
And they're selfish. It's
Yeah.
Very
like
selfish.
the world
Yeah.
doesn't owe you this. What do
No.
you?
Yeah.
It's a public space.
Dude, like,
Yeah.
I thought drivers were bad in Duluth. Drivers down here, dude, like, literally today I'm leaving the ramp, like, from work, and some lady is literally, like, nearly on the, so, like, she's coming this way, I'm turning out of the ramp. She's, like, on the sidewalk. I have no way to get around her. And I'm like, she's signaling to go into the ramp, and I'm like, turn? It's right there? Like, and I literally went up on the sidewalk around her. I was like, fuck this. I just drove the Buick up onto the fucking sidewalk and then down. I was like,
There's a lot of people that should not be able to drive.
oh, a ton.
No.
A ton. I feel like the test needs to be more strict. I feel like it needs.
Honestly.
I also think there should just be an age limit. There should be a limit where, like, I don't care if you can test well in this environment. You're like Volkswagen. You're just gonna test well here, and then you're gonna be a piece of shit everywhere else. If you're like above 78, you can't drive anymore.
Yeah.
Get over it.
Yeah, honestly.
Get an electric
deadass.
bike. I don't know. How much was
Take the
your
bus.
How much was your Rad Rover?
They go on sale all the time. So off sale, they're pretty expensive. I got it for like $1,200.
That's not bad. You know, the electric scooters I've been looking at, you know, I told you about the VSET 10 Plus. I really want the yellow and black one. I've honestly, Varla came out with a Varla Eagle 1 Pro, and that one's meant to go off-road too. Like, you can rip it on trails, and that one goes 40, which is like,
that's crazy.
well,
on a scooter.
the VSET 10 Plus goes 45. It can go faster than that if you upgrade things. But
I'd be kind of scared, dude.
Right? Yeah.
Wear a fucking helmet and
is
shit.
your I have a really nice, I still have a really nice motorcycle helmet from when I had the 400cc scooter. Like, see, dude, you really should get a motorcycle. Okay, I will say this: if I still lived in Duluth, I would still have that scooter. Okay, I do not recommend anybody owning a motorcycle down here ever. To be honest with you.
Getting jacked.
What was that?
Getting jacked,
just how many drivers and how
crashes.
stupid people are down here. Like, there are so many close calls I had with the scooter when I first moved down here. That's why I sold it within like 6 months. I'm like, I'm going to get myself killed, and I'm not worried about me. I'm worried about the million other people that live in the city that are on the road. Like, in Duluth, it's like 80,000 people. It's like, yeah, I'm still worried about other people, but I maybe had one encounter my entire time of 2 years driving it up there, you know? I do really miss Garrett Sargent and I wish we got to go on more of these, but he had like a really fast Yamaha, like some type of sport bike. And we would, obviously I could kind of keep up with him, but like we would just go ripping on like the backcountry roads up at like Gene Duluth. It was so fun, dude. When I moved back up there, Ricky, when I moved back up there, Ricky, let's start a motorcycle gang. We'll both get some Honda Rebels or something, rip around.
Honda Rebel. So one of my coworkers drives a Honda Rebel.
Yeah, all you need is a 500cc, bro. That's all I need.
I'm surrounded by motorcycles. I'm completely inundated in the in the culture. Like my that's why I got the electric. Not the only reason. I've been looking at it for a hot minute, but
yeah,
the owner of the company has a philosophy about riding a motorcycle, something about not being in a bubble and having to bounce. He's like, physiologically, it's really good for you. Okay, sure, whatever. But I will say, I do have a better day when I ride into work. I'm just
there's
happier.
something
I don't
about
know.
it. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't. Maybe it's just vitamin D. I don't know. Being in the sun, who knows? But
it's very true.
I want one bad, and they're cheap. You can get. They're really not expensive, and they're really easy to work on. There's a lot of things I like about a motorcycle. I just wish that, like, right now I think about it, I'm like, because it's -23.
Yeah, it's extremely seasonal up there. I mean, seasonal down here too, but extremely. I mean, like, even if I were to, I mean, I'm sure with your electric bike, it isn't going anywhere right now. Like, I wish, like, well, I guess you have a fat tire, so you could ride it in the winter, couldn't you?
Yeah, and I plan on riding it next week. If it's in the anything above like 20, I'll ride it. Because like being outside and like in the teens is fine, but once you actually start getting any kind of speed,
Yeah.
it's cold.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah, it does.
I mean, Jack would remember when I would bring the scooter Remember when I'd bring it to mom and dad's house on like some of those colder fall days, and like, yeah, I'd have gloves and like helmet, jacket on, and be
Yeah.
like, yeah, like as
Just
I get
fucking
off it.
dying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, I don't know. Love our brother Joe so much, but I don't know how he drives without a helmet, man.
Yeah, dude. I
He
don't
doesn't.
get that.
Doesn't.
And that's when
He's
you were
a
saying,
typical
Paul.
biker dude, you know.
Yeah. Like that's why I'll never ride any motorcycles or anything. I'm just too scared of someone fucking, crossing the lane and hitting me at 20 miles or 30 miles an hour.
Because you're
Even if I
getting
have a
ejected.
helmet.
You're getting
Yeah, you're getting
ejected, whether you
ejected. No
like it
matter
or
what you
not.
do, you're fucked. Yeah, that's just a paranoid man. That's why I don't never want to ride one. But
And
I didn't know Joe doesn't wear a helmet. I thought he did.
I think I don't know. He used to not
I'm
ever, but I feel
I
like
swear
maybe
he
as he got
started.
older, maybe he does
Yeah.
now. But it's not a full face by any means. It's like
No,
it's
he
like as
doesn't.
small
He
as you can
wears
get. It's
that.
just the top. It's like
No,
the
he
German
has.
one. It's got a
Yeah, it's
spike
that
on
German
it
helmet.
or
Yeah, no,
something.
you're right. He totally doesn't wear a full one. He just wears that. Yeah, it's like a
He-
German, like old school, like war helmet or some shit.
Yeah,
It's-
dude.
That's a sick helmet, boy. You can
It is
just
pretty
take
sick.
it on the chin.
Yeah, exactly.
Right,
That's the
yeah.
thing. Is like the one I have. So I used to have a different helmet when I had the 400cc scooter. I gave the helmet away with the scooter. Long story. The guy gave me some extra money, and I didn't need it anymore. But then when I got the electric scooter that I eventually got rid of, I bought a new helmet, and it's full face. But like they say, the mandible portion, because it can easily come off magnetically, isn't full face, because I think it's like to cover their ass. But it's better having something there
Absolutely.
than not. You know,
Mhm.
like I'm sure, yeah, getting
yeah.
a significant crash is going to really help me, but it's at least going to stop a lot of the scrapes and shit, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. No, that's like what literally holds me back from getting an electric something myself, is just literally like the seasonalness of them up here. Like if I get an electric scooter, I'm not, way closer to the ground. The motors are on the wheels, I'm not going to ride in the winter at all. Because
No.
they're not waterproof. And like there's some that are, but they're extremely expensive when you get into those ones.
Yeah, that's the one thing I do that I like a lot about the bike is I've ridden it in the rain many times. I just put on a raincoat. And I have ridden it in the snow. I black ice sucks. I haven't fell yet. I'm planning on trying to have that not happen. But with the bike, I am able to ride probably 7.5 months comfortably out of the year, which is nice.
That
Seven
is
and a half, if not 8.
Yeah. Whereas like the electric scooter, I couldn't drive it with snow on the ground. I just I
Right.
couldn't.
No,
Yeah.
you couldn't.
Like it's just
Yeah.
like it's not a thing. Yeah, I've considered the
Also, it's
bikes.
so powerful.
It is extremely powerful.
That's so fast.
Well, the
Yeah,
thing
it's
is,
really
dude,
fast.
I literally have like a document I drawn up, because that's the problem. It's like I wanted the V Set 10 Plus, but now I look at the Varla Eagle 1 Pro and I'm like, man, it's about the same thing, and like it literally says it's all terrain, whereas like the V Set's just rated as a street scooter. I mean, like you could throw knobbier tires on the V Set and bring it off road if you wanted, but I wouldn't want to do that to like a scooter of that like I'd rather just like off road the one that's meant to kind of off road. The main problem you run into a lot of those is their stem, because like the stem of it, like they crack. It's not those, but it's just
Really?
like electric scooters in general. You bring them onto like harsher environments and stuff, like that stem is gonna snap. It's scary.
That'd be awful.
Oh, you're just
Going
holding
at
this.
speed.
You're holding the stick. You're riding it like a hoverboard. Yeah.
Oh God. I mean, have you guys longboarded?
Very,
bit.
very briefly, a little bit, yeah.
More in
Well,
a
so
regular
you
skateboard.
appreciate there's quite a hill near in that area in Woodland that I don't know if you weren't there for it. I don't know if you heard about it though, Paul. I went down that really big long one near Cobb, right?
Yeah,
near
the dip.
Yeah, near whatever it's the school, whatever it's called now.
Yeah.
It's a really long one near the school that goes down. And that was fine. I was like, okay, cool.
Okay, yeah.
Ben, you love Ben.
Yeah.
He went down Woodland with a fucking watermelon on his head, right? And I went down me and Eric were longboarding one time. That's why I would be scared of the scooter. I don't know. I get you fall off once and it sucks. I was going fast enough to get speed wobbles, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my dumb ass was like, all right, I'm gonna jump off and I can run as fast as it's going. And ever since then, I still longboard, but hearing that kind of speed on something kind of similar in the
Yeah.
how it is, I'm like,
No.
yeah.
I don't want to be part of that.
The thing, yeah, I get it. The thing with me is like obviously wearing like you kind of look like a dork, but elbow pads and knee pads go a long way. Like they really do. Like, and if I were to get something that goes that fast, fuck it, I'll wear elbow pads and knee pads. I want to rip, homie. I like going fast. Like I love.
wish I was wearing it.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. I've always liked going fast. That's a problem, and I think it's kind of good I don't have a really fast car. Like I still to this day have never gotten a speeding ticket, surprisingly, but I've gotten a whole handful of warnings, let me tell you. And I don't know how that's happened, but they just have never given me a ticket yet. It's gonna happen.
Nice.
They look at the name, they're like, Ben's brother, you're good.
Not
I've never
down
been
here.
pulled over. Oh, right, that's true. They don't give a fuck.
You've never been pulled over, Jack?
Not yet. No, I've been driving for about 4 years now. Never been pulled over once.
Nice.
It's because you drive a 99 Buick Century.
Think of
like
grandma.
No one's and it's
Nice.
like, and it's in like nice condition on the outside. They ain't gonna pull you over. You don't have tinted windows. Like you know, like it's fine.
The only thing they'd get me for is no lights. That's about it.
I thought your lights work, but they're shit.
They work. Yeah, they're just shit. Yeah. Dad's like, you're fine. They won't pull you over. I'm like, they might. They're gonna.
They're the most clouded headlights I've ever seen in my life.
Fucking
like
bad.
at night, you're like, I can't even
do.
see anything.
Yeah, it's pretty metal driving at night, but I'm all right. You know what I get though? I get like really bad light glares with my contacts, like just fucking like headlights, dude. Like glare, dude. It's bad.
Oh,
I might have to start wearing like actual.
It's like
glasses
astigmatism where it's like super. Yeah.
Dude,
yeah, that sucks.
I don't know. Lately, I've been thinking I need glasses. I need to go get my eyes checked.
I should.
I can't see speed limit signs as far as away as
That's right. That's you need glasses.
And I was just like, whatever. I'll just go. It's faster when else is going.
Match traffic.
Yeah, it's match traffic.
I've only been pulled over once, and it was the scariest thing. Like
really?
I've ever. Well, so I was with this guy Michael and this other guy Joey, and we got pulled over, right off 21st Avenue East, over by the McDonald's, right when you get off the highway.
Yeah.
I wasn't speeding. Nothing was wrong. The cop pulled me over. So I know in hindsight, and he told me afterwards, the cop pulled me over because we left Canal Park, and I signaled late to go onto the off ramp.
Yeah.
Right. Not a big deal, but he was checking to see drunk drivers. Right. It was a Friday night. But I was sweating bullets because in my dash was a big bag of something illegal. A huge stinky bag of something illegal. Like it reeked. There was a lot.
Yeah.
And so we get pulled over, and I'm like, guys, everyone roll down your window right now. And I was shaking, but the cop didn't. He could give a shit. He went over to me, flashed my eyes. Hey, you signaled late. I'm sorry, officer. That's fine. Yeah, go ahead, go home. He shines my eyes, see if I'm drunk or not. Stone cold sober, sweating bullets, but
yeah, I've had a lot of interactions with cops. Let me tell you.
Surprises me.
Let me tell you about the latest one. Okay, this one's really good. Okay, so last summer, so like not this previous summer, but like a year ago, I was up in Duluth and I drove Destiny's van, and I think it was to bring some of I had a few boxes of stuff in my parents' garage, and it was finally time to just get everything out of there that I've had at their house. And so I bring Destiny's van. Destiny doesn't come with me. It's registered in Destiny's name. It's Destiny's van. Okay. Okay. So I go to a buddy of mine's to pick up some illegal things. And he had the illegal things on him. But see, what he did is he pulled up in another car, and I was parked by the ski hut on 4th Street, a very nice area. A very nice area.
Great area.
Okay?
Nice, yeah.
Soon as I get out of my car to go meet him, I turn around and go, fuck. And I see my keys sitting on the passenger seat of Destiny's van, and the van is locked.
Oh, yeah. Fuck.
And as soon as I get into his car with his buddies, he's like, what are you all pissed off about, man? I'm like, just give me it. I'm going to have to break into her car or something. He's like, what did you mean? I'm like, the keys are right there. And they're like, oh, man, like you fucked up. So he's like, don't worry. He's like, my buddy up the road, he lives like a block over or whatever, like a block up and over. He's got something that can get you in. And I'm like, okay. So we go meet this guy. Okay. And it's a kid that like I've known like pretty much my whole life, but I haven't seen him in a long time. And he's like, oh yeah, I got you. He's got like, it's something to like check your blood pressure, but you like slip it in the car door and pump it up to like put a crack in the door so you can get in. So I grab that thing and I'm with my buddy who may or may not look kind of sketchy maybe. We're on 4th Street, broad daylight, like 1 o'clock. I'm in like the shittiest sweatshirt. I was not dressed well. I looked like a scumbag. Okay, this is literally like a year. I was literally like working at my current job when this happened. I was like, oh, fuck, man, I'm fucked. But anyways, like, this is what happens. We fucking, broad daylight, we're pumping it, the driver's side door open and trying to break into my girlfriend's van to get my keys. Okay, this is, it's taking us like 25 minutes, a half hour. I'm like, man, I'm like a lookout. Like, I'm even looking more suspect while he's jimmying the door. It's just me and him. 3 squads pull up from like all different angles, lights on, fucking spotlights on us. They're like, step away from the vehicle. And I'm like, okay, like hands behind my head. Like, you can put your hands down. And then I was about to put my hands in my pocket on accident. They're like, don't do that. Don't put your hands in your pocket. I'm like, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I'm nervous. Like, you know, and I'm like, you know, and my buddy, he's very anti-cop, hates cops. Understandable. He's doing illegal stuff. Yeah. He was talking smack, and I'm like, dude, do not talk to the cops right now. I do not need this to escalate, please. And I got kind of lucky, man. It just so turns out, like, is one of the guys runs my plate, or like runs the plates, I give him my ID, you know, and whatever. And one of the guys is Weston's friend's older brother that just became a cop. Was one of them. And he's like, he's like, I know your younger brother, blah, 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 blah. Like, he's friends with my little sister. And I'm like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, God, thank God. And then they don't have lockout kits anymore. Like, Duluth PD can't break into your car anymore because they got sued a few years back because people were like, oh, you helped me get back into my car, but you scratched my door. So they sued the police department. So now they can't help you get into your car, except sergeants carry them. So I had to wait a half hour for the sergeant. And the whole time, my buddy's like, fucking pigs, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, please stop, dude. Like, you were going to make this so much worse. Yeah. Like, you were going to make this so much worse, dude. Please stop. And he eventually did. And sure enough, the sergeant comes up. He's like, Fi, I know your brother. He's a good cop. Like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, thank God. Like, this guy's cool. And he's like, well, here's the deal. We have to call your girlfriend because it's in her name to get consent, verbal consent, and make sure that, like, she knows you have the car. And that we can get into it by any means. And they didn't really even damage the car at all. He got us in 10 seconds. I got my keys. But dude, that was like the longest 2 hours of my fucking life. Because meanwhile, I'm like trying to get my buddy not to escalate it. But I'm also like, and then here's the deal. My buddy had all that stuff on him. Okay. The whole time. Okay. The whole time.
And he's trying to escalate it. That's zero situational awareness going on.
I know. Trust me, I know.
I remember you tell me it after that.
It's not even 15 seconds after all the cops turn the corners. Here you go. Throws it at me. I'm like, like in broad daylight. Yeah, and I'm like, dude, like I was just like, see ya, man. I just got in the van. And I started and just drove away like immediately.
Jesus.
Like just like I felt like I don't know, man. That was like just so stressful. I was immediately like, man, I am never, ever going to lock my keys in my car again, ever. Like, I'm going to make sure that never happens. And that honestly, dude, that happens to me like once every 2 years. I just sometimes do it. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, the last time before that, I had locked them in the S10 truck. And luckily it had one of those like little sliding windows on the back of it. And like, I could reach through and like grab them or whatever, like squeezing through the window. But damn, man, like that was the last time I encountered police. That was by far the worst time because straight up, dude, like guns on, like hands on their hip, like ready to draw, like on us. But like the female cop that was there, one of the 3, she was like, we figured you're not breaking in. You have to be really dumb at 1 in the afternoon, or like it was like 3 in the afternoon to like be breaking into a van in broad daylight.
Yeah. So what the fuck?
And I just had to like, I explained like, this is not suspect, but then like it didn't help that the car wasn't in my name. It wasn't my fucking car.
Your friend didn't help.
My friend didn't help.
It would have been It'd been funny if when Destiny called, she said, she doesn't know you.
Oh,
It's like, hangs up.
no, yeah, yeah.
It'd been such a good
Who
prank,
has my
dude.
car?
Yeah.
What?
No, they put her on,
Right, yeah,
like they had
alright.
me call her and I put it on speaker on purpose when I handed it to him so I could hear what she
Yeah.
said. Not like she would say anything suspect or whatever, but I was also like, I also got to be like, if she's just like, I don't know who he is, I just start booking it. I just get gunned down.
It's like Jerry do when he runs.
Don't
He just
tase
fucking
me,
gun
bro.
you down.
Yeah, don't tase me, bro. Yeah. No, that was by far probably my scariest encounter, and that was my last encounter ever with the cops. Before that, it was just like a state trooper being a dick. Claims I was speeding when I know for a fact I wasn't speeding. He lied. I for sure 100% know that he lied. That or my speedometer's not correct. Like,
That I always worry about that, honestly.
so
Yeah.
okay, he may have had a valid maybe my speedometer was incorrect because I did have different wheels on the Subaru before that, but it didn't matter. I had my stock ones back on it. And okay, so I'll give you guys this story. I was heading home from Pizza Man, long shift. And I was with Destiny because I picked her up from Subway. She got off around the same time. I'm driving home on the highway heading out to West Duluth. There is a state trooper in front of me. I can clearly see him. He is going 10 under. He was going 45. And this is where I learned never pass cops no matter how slow they are going. Okay?
Yeah. I was like, you passed a cop?
Yeah, this was the mistake. Okay?
Yeah.
I signal, merge over slowly. I go up to 55, maybe hit 56, like one over. I pass him, I signal, I go into the right lane. He speeds up behind me, throws the lights on. So I pull over under the underpass. He's like, no, how fast you're going? And I'm like, 55. Like, I really wasn't trying to be smart. Like, I was like, 55. Like, I was looking. And then he was like, well, you must not have seen me, but I clocked you going 70. And I'm like, and I'm not, maybe he was having a bad day. But I was like, I didn't really argue with him, but like, I don't think so, man. My speedometer said I was going 55. Like I was looking at it. I saw you. And he's like, you must not have saw me though. I clocked you going 70. You passed me. He's like, I'm going to run your license and registration. I'm like, okay. Goes back, comes back, gives me a written citation. I'm lucky I didn't get a ticket, but he gave me like a written, like, this is a verbal warning. Next time will be a ticket. And that's the last time I've had an encounter for speeding. And obviously the next time's probably going to be a ticket if it happens in Minnesota. But also it's just like, I swear to God, like, yeah, I may have been 19, 20. I would not pass a cop going over the speed limit. I'm not that stupid.
Right.
But now I know.
Him?
Yeah. Oh, with my Subaru that's straight piped, mind you. Maybe that's why he pulled me over. He never said anything about it, though. He never said anything about the crack in my windshield. He never said anything about the straight piped exhaust. Nothing. Not even the tinted windows. And they were legally tinted. But like he pulled me over. He's like, you passed me going way too fast. And like now to this day, I'm never going to pass any cop, no matter how slow they're going if I'm behind them. You lead the way, buddy. I'm just going to stay right behind you. Because like after
Let
that.
someone else do it first.
Exactly. Yeah. Let someone else do it. And then watch, I'll do it. You know how fast you're going? They pull me over and it's like,
right.
The speed limit,
Yeah. So I always wanted to have a dash cam. Then you can't fucking argue that, or like a little even on the speedometer too.
Yeah, he was literally like, well, I clocked you going like 70, 72. He's like, maybe your speedometer's off. And I'm like,
maybe that's your IQ, buddy.
Yeah, I was also just like, well, they're the stock wheels. It would be different if I had, I think, smaller wheels on. But no, I had larger wheels before that. So if anything, I don't know how all that shit works and how it correlates engineering wise, but it was the stock wheels and tires. I was like, there's no way it's off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Speedometers don't just usually become off for no reason. It's not like it was a fast car by any means. It was a naturally aspirated Subaru. It had no turbo. It was dog slow.
You should have showed him your knife you had, Paul. The one for cops.
Oh, yeah. Do I have the one for cops on me right now? No, it's over there.
Knife for cops.
Yeah, it's the knife for cops.
Yeah.
I'm just joking.
Protect myself.
I mean, do you guys think
I
think it was I have my good days and my bad days when I think about cops.
Cops?
Yeah.
I have family that was my uncle just retired after the George Floyd thing. He was part of like the 300 Minneapolis cops that retired all with PTSD.
Yeah.
That's fucked. So it's super fucked. They let him burn down the precinct. They shouldn't have let him do that.
Nope.
But I don't know. I think there's a lot of good cops, and I think they got to get rid of the bad cops. Bad cops are ruining jobs for all cops.
Yeah. And I also think
Um,
there are even good cops that under certain pressure. It's all situational, man. You know?
Well, and I was talking with someone else earlier, and I was like, I just can't. Eventually, I mean, the budget for these police departments. I know I'm not saying we should defund the police. I'm actually saying we should give them more money
I
to
think
get
so
proper
too.
training,
Yeah.
Me too.
and eventually get to the point where I think we will see RoboCop in our lifetime. Honestly, I think we will see an automated system, not automated system, just a robot that's manned by a person, because that gets rid of all of the stress. They're not worried for their life when they pull you
Yeah.
over. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like
It's not like I could die.
yeah.
That's not a situation for him.
Yeah, like even if it's as like the cop is still driving the car, but then he lets the robot out and it goes to your door, you know, and he
Yeah.
controls
right.
it from inside the
I've
cruiser that's protected, you know.
I've already decided I'm gonna be racist towards robots. I've just
Oh,
decided that already.
You're not
good.
I'm
gonna
gonna
like 'em?
destroy him. Yeah, I'm not gonna like him. I'm gonna call him
No, I don't like
all
robots
sorts of obscenities. Yeah, fuck
Dude,
robots.
and AI. Fuck AI as well.
yeah,
Yeah,
in
I'm play with- I don't
Montana,
like
I'm
that.
surprised somebody didn't like like outside
Farmer didn't just shoot
wildebeest man
that.
didn't just shoot that fucking thing down. What the hell is that? And just
Whatever
blow it out of
it
the
is.
It was
sky.
that high.
Scare my
I'm
cow.
sure someone tried to shoot at it.
Oh yeah,
You have to be a fucking crack shot to probably get how high it is.
yeah.
I don't. Yeah, I don't
exactly.
even know if a bull would.
Probably
It's
no.
above where
He said it goes up
planes fly.
planes. So there's no
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah,
way
it's
you can
above
shoot
planes.
It. Yeah,
Jesus
fucking
Christ.
way. But like I wonder, dude, it must have been so big if you could see that.
Right? That's what that, and
Mhm.
that's what the military said. They said whatever it is, it's huge. It's
Yeah.
huge. Whatever the hell it is up
Sucks,
there.
dude.
Makes me
How many
wonder how
more they
many
got
more.
around?
Yeah, makes me wonder how
Yeah.
many more they got.
Fuck, there could be
Right.
one right above, dude, with the fucking Duluth with all the shipping and shit. They might have one right up above there. Checking
For
out
sure,
that.
because apparently they figured out how it must have came was like through Canada, so it went up north and back down.
Mm,
And I don't
okay.
know if that's a efficiency thing, like it followed a jet stream or something, because it must have been traveling for days,
Oh yeah.
I almost
launched
would.
somewhere in the Pacific, most likely.
I wouldn't want to shoot it down. I would just want to send someone up there to kind of latch onto it, bring it down, and
Bring
get
it
whatever
down.
data's on it, and see, because you can probably dissect that thing and figure out what the fuck it was doing for sure.
Well, and it's just this is brand new, so I'll be interested to see if we do anything with it, or
Mhm.
if it just all of a sudden all of the articles just disappear. If that
Is-
happens, I'm gonna assume that they took it.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
like, shut the fuck up about this.
Like the
Never
government
happened.
took it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's what I'll assume. If all of a sudden, because it's a big deal,
Yeah.
Guys.
and all of a sudden no news about it anymore. I think that would mean
Yeah,
that they
they
took it.
Yeah,
Let's go get it before they do. So I'll take a
Right.
trip to Montana. What are they gonna do about it?
Yeah.
Finders keepers.
We got
Salute drop.
we got the new Gutterball robot in the house. We
Yeah.
got it like in the podcast
Speaking
studio.
Chinese.
It's
Yeah, it speaks Chinese. Bing
Yeah.
chilling.
Yeah, Bing chilling. Oh man, that'd be
That'd
so
be
good.
funny.
No, back to the cop thing though. I really hope it turns into like a RoboCop thing as opposed to like a security cameras everywhere in public style thing, where they
Yeah.
don't get you at that time. You just get something deducted from your account for a fine, or they send something to you in the mail.
Your social credit score. That's what they have in China.
Yeah,
dude.
that's scary.
They
Yeah.
have a
That's what I don't want.
China's a
happening here.
scary place. Like I'm
100%.
anti-Russia, anti-China. They will, if you have debt, you can't have debt in China. If you have debt, they'll put your name on a billboard and say you can't trust this man. He has debt. You can't trust him. You can't do business with him. And they have a social credit score, and they use that. You saw it's scary because I do. So I do a lot of business with China
Yeah.
for my job. I have a lot of business Chinese counterparts, and they're nice people. Their government is crazy.
Yeah.
The social credit score meme is totally real.
It is.
It's
Yeah, 100%.
it's really real.
During the
Like,
protests, weren't
had-
they freezing people's accounts and like dropping their
Yeah.
credit score? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, they were freezing them during the pandemic, which they just decided to get done with their lockdowns a month ago, like
Yeah.
literally. And it was pandemonium after they did that for the beginning. That's kind of a unique story in itself. But so this company, this mega company, Alibaba, has this app, right? Everyone, it's like WeChat, right? Everyone in China has it.
Yeah.
And it would allow you to travel during the pandemic. You would have 3 colors. You would show your thing to get on a train or a bus, and it would be green, yellow, or red. And they could at any point just switch it and isolate you so you can't go anywhere. It'd just be remotely turn you to red, and then you can't leave. It's kind of spooky. I don't like that. I don't like the mass
No.
surveillance that they do.
Neither do
Fuck
I.
that.
I don't like
It's a new
there's
world
no
order.
privacy. You can't get out. You can't, if you take out a loan, you have your billboard displayed. You can't be trusted. You get fired from your job. They're super anti-debt,
Yeah, and
personal debt.
dude, part of that shit, like I was reading, I can't remember. There were these hacker magazines or something. My older coworker, used to read them. But they would always have like tips for like anti-surveillance, cybersecurity related kind of magazines. I can't remember what they were. He got me one from Micro Center sometime, like on his lunch break, and gave it to me. And I might still have it around, but one of the guides in there was how to make your own like glasses where they can't read your eyes or like scan your eyes
Oh,
through like
nice.
and like
Yeah, they're
and you can
reflective.
you can buy those too, but it's like god damn, like that shit just scares the fuck out of me, man. I
No,
won't
Maybe
ever
they
I
even
don't
need something like
I
that.
know, like why like
they're
part of me's
getting
like
around it.
I know part of me's like I want to just buy a pair and not create my own because it seems a lot harder to just make your own. Like the steps were like
I'd
pretty
want to know
complex.
it works too.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Like you'd
100%.
want to
But
test
they
it.
they track your gait now. They track the way you walk. They can identify
Yeah.
someone based on how they walk now.
So now I'm just gonna walk like this, like a monkey.
Yeah,
Like
well,
I
fuck
wish I
them.
was exaggerating. No,
I know
seriously.
you're serious. I know. It's not good.
Fuck.
It's gross.
Yeah.
Like at that point, I would be rubbing my own feces on me, so they couldn't get heat signatures of me either. So I'm just like a poop man with shades on, and I'm walking like an ape.
New Age Rambo.
Yeah, New Age Rambo.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy stinks. He's got
Yeah,
the shades
who is
on.
he? How does he move? Yeah.
And then you
fuck
shoot him with the
that.
crossbow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's be real here. Rambo's explosive bow, like the explosive arrows were fucking sick, dude. He's
Yeah.
like blowing up like
They're
convoys
badass.
with them. Yeah, that's so
Oh,
dope.
yeah.
Learn that in Vietnam.
Yeah, I don't know. Fuck, dude. Yeah, dude, if they invade, don't give me a gun. Give me the explosive arrows and a nice bow, a nice compound bow.
Might be good to go.
You know, that
Be
would be
fine.
something to be
Compound bows are fun.
yeah, something to get really good at would be archery, honestly. I feel like that'd be like super fun.
Mhm.
Obviously I have no area or way to do that right now, but like maybe when I have a house, like a little archery thing in the backyard. Archery
be pretty
drinking
sick.
games, have the boys over.
It sounds
That'd
like
be super
someone's
fun.
gonna
That
get
would be really
injured.
good.
But
Someone's
yeah.
gonna yeah.
I've already done that. I've already actually. We were at Austin's house. His parents have land, and sometimes he would house sit for him, and they had this jacuzzi, and so we would of course get like I don't know on a scale of 1 to 10 for drunkenness, we get to like 4, pretty buzzed, not like drunk yet.
Yeah.
But if you go from being any amount of drunk and then hop in a hot tub, it exponentially gains. So we went from pretty buzzed, having a good time, to like blackout. And we've done this a couple times. So one of the times, he has a bunch of guns out there. Like he has his parents they're responsible. They have guns. I'm fine with guns. Guns are tools. They have cool guns. They have like an AK. They have ARs, whatever.
Yeah.
But we were fucking around with this this big bow,
Yeah.
and I didn't know this. So I've only shot compound bows, right? I haven't shot, the actual pullback, whatever you would call that.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that my left arm can kind of hyperextend a little bit.
Yeah.
So I went and I shot it, and it
Well,
was
yeah.
really strong bow, and it grazed all of this.
Oh.
It
Yeah.
grazed all of it, and it was all purple and black, and it was
Very
terrible.
Yeah, it hurts.
Yeah,
done
no,
that
I had
before.
terrible form. That was on me.
I think that's where those
Yeah.
guys wear those braces. You know, they
That
got
makes
it's like a
sense.
glove that's got like the longer brace, and some of it has like a carbon fiber shield just for
Mhm,
that,
just in
essentially.
case.
Yeah, just in
Yeah.
Yeah,
case.
I should have caved it in a little bit.
Yeah.
You know,
That was
I've had
stupid
that
on my
happen
part.
before.
So you're talking like compound bow with the actual like gear, like the pulleys in it and shit, right?
Yeah, where you pull it back.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I never actually shot a compound bow, but I've shot plenty of like traditional bows where you just notch the arrow and you got like a little thing to guide the arrow on. You just like
That's what my dumbass hurt myself on.
really. Honestly,
Yep.
man, when I was at like summer camps as a kid, I was always like okay at archery. I've always been decent at hand-eye coordination stuff, but I give that up to like video games and things like that
Yeah.
because like I think that's just kind of like it comes with
It
that.
counts.
I mean, I've heard guys that are really good at video games tend to be extremely good at Brazilian jiu-jitsu, oddly enough. Because it's like the
That's
way
a funny correlation.
isn't that weird though? Like I've like heard that from like many like popular like Forrest Griffin, like one of the first like big UFC fighters ever. Like he's older now, but he's talked about this too. He's like, I've seen a weird correlation of like younger kids that are really good at video games are just like fucking really good at jujitsu. Like I think their brain just works at solving puzzles or like coordination and
Well,
stuff like
yeah,
that, which is interesting.
it's been proven that people who play video games regularly can track like 3, 4 times the amount of like objects at once versus like the normal person that doesn't. So it makes sense. They can see the
Yeah,
moves coming.
Yeah, yeah.
that's funny.
Or
I
like
have I have heard something similar for people who play MOBAs or play video games. There's a strong correlation to like pro Dota 2 players
yeah.
then turning into day traders
Oh
because
Oh
they
no shit.
yeah,
Oh, they got the
yeah,
numbers.
yeah, and they can do the really skill shots except it's money.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's sick.
I thought that was funny.
What do you think of the housing market, Rick? Do you think we're ever going to see it slow down soon? Do you think the interest rates are just going to keep rising? What do you think?
They're going to keep rising. The interest rates are going to keep rising until we're officially in a recession. I
Because people say we're in a recession right now, but are we really in a recession right now? I
I've
don't
been
think.
hearing that for over a year.
Yeah, I don't. I
I've been
think we'll.
hearing that for
I think we'll
over a year.
know when we're in a recession, right?
Yes, everyone wants to say that they called it. So people are saying it every single day.
Yeah.
When the Feds first started raising rates, we're in a recession now. Unemployment is insanely low. It's crazy low, like record low. So we're not in a recession yet, and the Fed is going to keep raising rates. I think they're going to stop this year. I also think that we might actually be in a recession this year.
We're also seeing
Um,
massive tech layoffs,
yes,
big tech.
and that's almost directly correlated to the raising rates. So a lot of tech companies and what they did during the last and we're kind of spoiled. We were in a bull market for like 2 decades. It
Yeah.
was crazy. Or over a decade. Ever since from like 2010ish up until the pandemic. We were in a bull market. So I guess just a decade, but that's unheard of really to just be continuously it just goes up.
Yeah.
It's bizarre. A normal economic cycle is up, down, up more, down, up more. It does average out to going up, but you have to go down eventually. It has to be
Mhm.
corrected. And a lot of these tech companies got pretty comfortable with manipulating money on a really low interest rate.
Yeah.
They would take out a massive loan at a really low interest rate, and that's how they would finance a lot of what they did. A lot of these tech companies, as you guys probably know, don't actually make profit yet. A ton of them don't make any profit.
Yeah.
They make a lot of money and they use their revenue to go to a bank and say, "Yeah, but look, I'm printing money. None of it goes in my pocket, but I'm printing money. So
Yeah.
give me a loan because eventually I'll be able to pay it off backed by, this much assets." But as the rates go up, the free money kind of starts to dry up, and then they look at the biggest overhead cost, which is always labor.
Yep.
So that's why it's happening specifically so much in tech. And as
Yeah.
soon as it starts going down, it's a temporary thing. Once it starts going down, once it plateaus, and they know it's an even playing field, they know not an even playing field, but they know what to expect.
Yeah.
Then you'll see the hiring start back up again.
And do you think it has to also do, maybe you mentioned this and I missed it. Do you think it also has to do with a lot of like the work from home, like not needing that much like office space that's now just not really being utilized by a lot of these companies? Do you think that kind of plays a part in it as well?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Well, they have to unload assets, but who's going to buy office spaces when no one's working there?
Yeah.
And that's why some places are forcing people to come back to work because they've made these, it's only the pandemic was only really 3 years ago. It started like 3 years ago this month,
Yeah.
right? So 4 years ago, these companies were investing a ton of money in these office spaces. Those are massive investments to just be like, yeah, take a loss. Uh, so they're starting to force people to come back, especially as officially, I think this administration said May 11th, officially, they're saying COVID's over, May 11th of this year. And so I think companies are going to start taking advantage of that. And like Twitter, Elon, he's pretty loud about doing stuff,
Yeah.
and he seems to be a little bit ahead of it. He's making everyone come back. It's really aggressive, kind of almost BS aggressive. Come back within 48 hours or you're fired, kind of. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that's too quick. You give someone a month,
Quick.
They shifted their whole life for this.
I'm gonna be
But
honest,
I
man.
think
I think hybrid's here to stay for a while. I think it's gonna
it
be,
makes sense.
yeah.
It's greener. I mean, I talk about environmental stuff. It's greener. People have a better quality of life doing it, and we haven't had a decrease of production.
And like the people that say, oh, people just abuse the crap out of it. Yeah, there's maybe a few people that have actually done that, but you literally end up getting found out pretty quick and shit canned. Like if you're literally doing nothing all day, they're gonna find out. Where it's like, I've experienced the hybrid work from home life. Like I get to work sometimes up to 2 days a week from home, which is pretty nice. And I will say, like, the reason why I like it is mainly because my dog then doesn't have to sit 8 hours until someone to let him out. Like on my lunch break, I can literally go walk my dog, come back, eat lunch. Maybe even like in between meetings, I can literally go throw a load of laundry in, because let's be honest, in that 5 minutes in between meetings, I'm not going to be able to start on a project or get any work done. Throw a load of laundry in the room next door, come back to work. Like it's honestly awesome. I will say this too. Like I never before, I still really don't. When I have to go to work in the morning, I don't really eat breakfast, But when I work from home, I can have a half of a bagel or something while I'm working in the morning, Like I'm not going to bring stuff to work to make it in the morning. Like it's just, I don't know. There's a ton of pros and cons, but everybody likes, it's always, you always hear from the rich guru people that run these companies. Oh, these people are abusing it.
They can fuck off.
Yeah. And it's like, it's a different time. And also like, if people are abusing it, you're hiring the wrong people then. I don't know what to tell you.
Sure.
Like, then you're not vetting your employees, well enough.
Well, that's where I want us employees, us working class people, us non-billionaires.
Yeah.
To bitch and moan when they try to take it away.
Oh, 100%.
Because if we don't, then, you know what I mean? Then they just will.
Yeah.
100%. They'll totally just walk all over us.
Like, I work from home quite a bit, and honestly, I'm more productive at home. I probably amount of time spent, I'm per hour way more efficient, because at work I have one monitor right here that is equivalent to my 2 monitors at work. I have this. I can see so much more. I can do so much more. I also, when I'm on the phone, I talk to vendors a lot. I talk to a lot of vendors. Ideally, it's just something I do. I like to pace. At work, I'm not going to pace. It's an open office. I'm not going to pace around and talk, But if I'm at home, I'm in my office. I don't care. I'll pace. I'll kick the couch. I'll throw a pillow if I'm pissed. I can't do that at work.
Yeah.
Right. You get fired. I think you're psycho.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, that is nice. I mean, everybody's got their perks to it, working hybrid or just working from home in general. Do you get to work at least a couple days do you have like a set schedule, Rick, or is it just kind of like whenever you want to?
Whenever I want to. So I set my own schedule, which is nice. They give me a lot of freedom, which I really like about this place. An immense amount of responsibility, but also the freedom with that.
Yeah.
Which is cool. Like if I do my job poorly, the business goes under, which is a lot.
Yeah.
Like it's a manufacturing company, so if I don't get the right stuff, the factory shuts down.
Yep.
So if I fuck up, there's only one person to point at. But if I do well, which I have, as I've consistently done well, they've had a lot of issues in this position. As I've consistently done well, they've let me do whatever I want, which is really nice. At the end of the day, as long as I can produce, they don't care. I could, if I only clocked in for 10 hours one week and didn't say anything to them, they would only care. I mean, it's not that they wouldn't care, but they would only punish me in any capacity if all of a sudden we run out of a critical material and I'm nowhere to be found.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100%. With me, I get a lot of freedom. I get a lot of flexibility. I do have an immense amount of responsibilities. Sometimes I don't know if the responsibility is worth the revenue I'm taking in. Sometimes it's also just kind of
Probably
like
not.
and that's the thing. Like that's where I'm at this crossroads, as I'm sure you know, but that we've talked about outside the cast. But it's also like today was just like one of those days at work where I was like, grass is looking greener. Grass is looking greener, because it's just, I don't know. Working in tech is tough. And like part of me for a long time when I first got into this field, even after school, was like, do I even want to do this? Do I even enjoy this? And I think deep down I do, because I think I do get a lot of that grass is always greener sometimes. It's just like, oh, it'd be way better if I was just an electrician right now and actually like working with my hands and doing something. Because sometimes I always think maybe I'd be better in a blue collar job like that, you know, where I'm using what I don't know. Because I feel like with office jobs can be so soul sucking.
Absolutely.
And like Nick Rochefort said that perfect. It's like office jobs can be extremely soul sucking. If you're even considering going into a different field where you're working with your hands more, something more blue collar or a trade, he's like, just buy a truck and fucking do it. He's like, because they really can just like ruin your life or your like happiness.
Yeah, that's the meme is suicide nets if you're on the top floor.
Yeah, yeah. And let's just like I can't even call where I work an office job, but it is, you know, it totally is. You know, it's not like I'm in a cubicle. It's like an open office floor plan, but like, and I don't know. Some days I just really dread going in. And that's why I think hybrid working is better for like some people, especially like with office jobs like that. Quality of life, 100%. I think it should be here to stay. I really would hate to see it go away. And sure, if those big companies want to be like, fuck you, be in the office in the next week, COVID's done. I really hope people are like, all right, I'll go work somewhere else that will allow that, because there's no way there is not going to be companies that get away with it completely. Because there's just no way. Like, get rid of it.
I'm really hoping they do, because we saw that kind of we saw that contraction and that shock when the pandemic started to get better, but it wasn't completely done.
Yeah.
And people were desperate for workers. Desperate. And people were like, pay me, bitch.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not? Okay, fuck you. I don't want to work.
Yeah.
I got COVID money. I saved. Fuck you.
Yeah, 100%.
I like that. Because these companies, I mean, they're making especially big companies. I understand if you work for a really small company, that's one thing. But if you're working for anything publicly traded, you can see how much money they make.
Yeah.
you can see how many billion in profit, but you can't pay me $20 an hour. Okay. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck off. Yeah.
So kind of related to the housing market, obviously we've all been kind of enjoying the Nick Rochefort and Jet Neptune streams, the housing market. Obviously there's actually one going on right now, I think, live on YouTube. I was watching it before the show. I've really been enjoying those. So everybody out there, if you haven't watched it, you might even learn a thing or two. Yeah, they're great. Yeah. They're funny, and you might learn something too.
Really funny.
I say, like, I sent it to my friends, and I'm like, this is like actually slightly educational, but also you get to hear Nick just fucking go off, and it's great and it's hilarious.
Honestly, I think Nick is funnier than Sam.
Yeah, honestly,
a lot of people
I say
do.
that. Yeah, I say that. It's very true. He's pretty funny.
He's
really quick.
He's quick.
Really, really quick.
He's quick on it, and he's funny in like I don't even know how to explain Sam's humor.
He's really charismatic.
He's super charismatic.
Nick is
100%.
Yeah, I don't know how to explain Sam's. It's pretty weird,
but it is funny.
Sam's a martyr for his humor.
Yeah,
it's like shock value.
Yeah, it is.
Shock value, yeah.
I mean, World Peace 2 is happening.
That blows my mind. I'm very excited. I'm very interested to see who the hell is putting that up.
That's
awesome.
That is awesome, because I'm ready to see Nick and some
blows my mind.
Like, you've seen CEO Eric Hayden's sketch, right? Have you seen that one?
Is that where he's stabbed?
No, it's like it's some guy plays a CEO that comes in really disgruntled, and Nick is like a worker in the office. He's like, "Hey boss, I'm gonna leave a couple hours early for my kid's soccer game." He's like, "Yeah, sure, there's nothing going wrong here. Why don't you take my car?" And whips his keys at him. And like, you gotta watch that sketch, dude, after this. It's so funny.
All right,
CEO Eric Hayden. It's just like such a ridiculous sketch. Like, the CEO comes in all pissed off. He kicks his door into the office, like falls off the hinges.
What?
Yeah, what? Sam's not even in the sketch. It's literally just like this guy and Nick. Like, it's pretty funny. But no, I am happy to see Sam Hyde kind of take this second resurgence to fame. I think we can kind of thank iDubbbz for that one, to be honest with you. But also, like, the Creator Clash, or not, he wasn't in the Creator Clash. The what Happy Punch Boxing, whatever that event was. Yeah. But I don't know. It's kind of cool to see him. Obviously, he's done a lot of questionable things. He's not a person to look up to. He's still funny, though.
I mean, look up to him in some fact. I think he's just fucking, does it all for the name.
I think it's literally just all a meme. I think it's literally like all a joke.
Is, me too. I think he's just a decent guy, There's other comedians who could worship that are like really shitty to people. Like, I mean, who's idols? Like even icons like Dana White that you could worship. But what did he do? What did he do recently? I'm pretty sure you want to talk about this, Paul. What did Dana do?
Dana White. Well, first of all, he slapped his wife. That was pretty interesting. But if you look at the video too, I'm not saying I condone anything. She slaps him.
Yeah.
She slaps him hard twice, really fucking hard. And he just goes, like he like barely. I mean, like he slapped her, but it was like, like it was like a retaliation slap.
I don't know what she looks like, but I mean, I just assume that comparably, it's like a human.
I think
versus
she's
a silverback gorilla.
Yeah, he's a big boy. He is a big boy. No, I don't condone it. He even came out and obviously said like that's like obviously bad, but like nothing happened to him. He's not gonna get. They're not gonna get rid of him. Like he's like I think what's keeping the UFC together. Yeah, like he's the.
Isn't he the whole deal? I guess I don't know, but
so like I think it's the Zafra brothers. I'm probably pronouncing their name wrong. They're the ones that like own the UFC, but Dana White's like the president. So like he's like the owner's guy they put in charge of like the whole thing. I mean, like there's a ton of other higher ups and a lot of the other guys own more shares, but like Dana White's got a good chunk in it, not more than everybody else. So yeah, he's the face. They literally could have gotten rid of him. They aren't going to. And he was kind of right. He's like, getting rid of me just hurts the fighters. He said that in his statement. He's like, what, you want me to take a month off? That doesn't hurt anybody but the fighters. So he's like, he's like, yeah, it's a bad, he's like, I'm going to have to live with it for the rest of my life is what he said. He's like, you want to know what the worst part is? Is like, I had to go explain it to my kids before the video went big on TMZ. He's like, that's the worst part because our kids won't talk to us right now. Like him and his wife, just the kids won't talk to him or whatever. So, so yeah, he's not wrong though. He has to live with that for his entire life. And I think that's probably the worst fucking thing. It's like if publicly there's a video of you slapping your wife. Like,
I can't imagine. What a nightmare.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like
what level of embarrassment?
100%. It's super embarrassing. Not to mention, and this is what I wanted to get into, Power Slap launched a week after that. You know what Power Slap is, Ricky? It's the UFC's version of like those slap. They stand at the fucking table and
they hold the things.
Yeah. And then what? As hard as they can, and they try. Have you seen some of the clips like of the first Power Slap? One lady, dude, got hit so hard she got knocked out. She fell. She tried to get back up, and she somersaulted. Yeah, dude. And here's the deal. There are a lot of fighters that have come out, like bigger ones, like Sean O'Malley and stuff, that have said like this is stupid, blah 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 blah. And here's the deal. Here's how I see it. I indeed think it's dumb. Do I think it's gonna go away? No. I will also say these fighters are right though. You're literally accepting an open free hand shot to your head, which I think can honestly be arguably worse than you defending yourself in a cage from a shot where you can roll with punches and stuff. Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong, you're going to get caught. Some people get caught and they do get more CTE. But the thing with Power Slap is like you can literally get knocked down. They let you back up and continue. It's like boxing.
That's what I was going to say before. This is predates Power Slap. Have you guys seen I don't know if he's Russian. He's like Slavic, whatever. This huge burly guy that was like the slap king.
Yeah.
A bunch of. I would watch and I'm like, that guy's not slapping him. He's hitting him with his fucking wrist. He's just hitting him with the wrist in the jaw. Of course he's gonna win.
Yeah.
And then he's got this big fucking beard. And people are, of course he's gonna win.
It was
punch him in the side of the jaw. It's the same thing.
It was fun seeing that guy finally get flatlined. He got flatlined by like some big fat guy with a beard. That guy just fucking smoked him.
Good. Probably had the reach to be able to do the same thing because he'd slap like up here, and I'm like, there's no way.
Yeah,
you can't do that.
And I hate the stupid like the wind up. I was watching
I would
like
they're like teeing off. And dude, like I don't know like all the rules for Power Slap, but in like a traditional slap competition, like what I've seen before, like the earlier ones or whatever, like other countries they did, it was literally like if you squint, that's like a point off, and they get to re-slap you or something, and it's like
really,
there's some crazy like you cannot flinch, like or cower at all. Like, you literally just have to eat the full thing. Like you cannot defend yourself.
That would go against like every fiber of my body to have someone wind up.
Yeah.
I'd be like, it'd be hard not to just go over and punch him in the throat. Like winding up to hit the fuck off.
Yeah.
Fuck that, dude.
No.
Yeah, it sounds like something you do like with your friends in third grade, That's that.
And one of the guys on the first Power Slap, you can say what you were paid. He's not on it anymore. He literally got paid $2,000 to show, $2,000 to win. Power Slap.
Not worth it. I
No,
don't think it's worth it.
that's not
No.
worth it.
Did he
You
win?
gotta pay him more.
No. Well,
So you get
I
2
think they
grand.
need to pay fighters more too, but I can't really say much
sure.
about that because like sometimes
We
I
need
attain the
okay.
streams in a
Yeah.
not great way that maybe not fund the might not fund the fighters, you know.
The
But
advertisers, I don't understand. I guess I don't know the business model, but
they,
enough people watch UFC. They're making money. They have advertisers. They have sponsors.
yeah,
You shouldn't also like. I get pay-per-view, but you shouldn't be like reliant. You shouldn't feel bad
yeah.
for
Well,
doing it. Not as bad as
yeah,
you feel.
they don't allow the fighters to have their own sponsorships in the cage. Like they
That's
can't.
bullshit.
So like you
Really?
can't. So like yeah, say like a fighter gets a sponsorship from like Raycon earbuds, they can't wear them or have a shirt on. That's why like I was just watching the press conference for this upcoming weekend. Derek Lewis is talking about his upcoming fight. He's in the main event, and like they always put like a bottle of water, but it has the Monster logo on it, and he flips it down. And they're like, "Oh, like Derek, like we noticed you flipped down the Monster Energy. Do you have something to say about that?" And he's like, "Well, they're paying the UFC. They ain't paying me." So he flipped the thing down so they can't see it, and he's like, "He's not wrong."
Yeah.
Like, because the UFC sucks all that money
That's-
from advertisers.
That's
know?
weak. I mean, it'd be interesting to know how much money, because it's not like it's not a big arena. Like I understand everyone's sitting down, right? Whatever, but the
Yeah.
actual where they fight, it's not like a big technical. You know what I mean? What's
Yeah.
the overhead cost? They gotta be printing cash.
Dude, I will never forget when Nate Diaz was having his last fight, that one where he fought Tony Ferguson, and they had to cut it. You can still find the clip. I remember seeing it live. He's they're like interviewing him, and they made him wear the Project Rock shoes, like Dwayne The Rock Johnson's shoes, because they did a sponsorship with the UFC. And towards the end of it, he takes the shoe off. He's like, "Yeah, man, are these the Rock shoes?" He's like, "These shoes fucking suck," and he like whips it.
Is he smoking
and they're
like a joint? Too?
Yeah, he's smoking a joint. They're like, "Cut!" Like the lady was so funny, dude.
Good for him.
Yeah, but like, well, too, you're on your last fight, like on the contract you have at the UFC. You know you're gonna retire and be a free agent. Fuck them. Like they're making money off you all those years. But yeah, fighters don't make enough, especially in the. But then like it makes me. You're right, Rick. You go to these other like PFL, Professional Fighters League, or Bellator, these other MMA organizations that maybe aren't as big, or one championship, and they're paying significant amounts to their champions and like higher level fighters. Like Mighty Mouse Johnson, he's still a champion in one championship. He was the UFC flyweight champion for an extremely long time. And then he got traded for Ben Askren. And he went to and Mighty Mouse went to one championship. He revealed all his pay. He was making 50 to fight, 50 to win as a champion. 50 grand.
Jesus.
Whereas like at one championship, he's making like upwards of more than like 250 to fight, 250 to win, 250K.
That makes that lines up so much more with the risk factor, right?
Yeah. Like I mean,
one bad fight could ruin your career.
Exactly.
Like,
and you know, sure, they might have excuses like, "Oh, health insurance is expensive for fighters." It's like they don't even have health insurance for fighters. It's just like you literally have to like I know Dana White's good about it. Like everybody that gets hurt or whatever, they end up getting, they bring them to the doctor, they will do that. But it's also like you got to rely on them to do that. There is nothing on paper that says they have to help you.
Yeah,
true.
That seems scummy. The more I learn about the way UFC operates, it sounds pretty scummy.
Look into it. It's to me too, they're also the biggest one. They have the most enlisted fighters, I think, out of any org. So there's that. There's a lot of fighters. MMA, they throw on an event literally every Saturday almost. So like it's more often. Whereas like people are like, "Oh, the money's in boxing." It is because they literally only have like 2 big boxing fights a fucking year. Like that's it. And you have to be praying you're on that undercard if you're a boxer, because it's usually only like 6 fights. And like that's it.
I do wonder with UFC, do you know, so I don't know if you guys knew this, something interesting. The NFL is a nonprofit.
Yeah.
Did you know that? Isn't that funny? Do you know, is the UFC a nonprofit? I wonder.
I don't know.
I
feel like it's not, but I don't know. I didn't know the
it
NFL
is.
Was
it's a
Isn't that crazy?
501c nonprofit organization. It is committed to supporting various charitable organizations and initiatives.
They're minting cash. They're
They are.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So
Isn't that crazy?
Here's the deal. I know nothing about business. I know nothing about managing mixed martial arts. So like, there's got to be a reason behind everything. But also to me, it just seems like a little bit of greed. Like it just seems like greed.
Absolutely.
Like I don't know. There are times too though where Dana White's like, oh fucking, it's Christmas, everybody gets a $50,000 bonus that was on this card. Like he'll just do that, which is like cool, but yeah, that's $50K. That's you know, you're training for 6 months for a fight and you get, $50K plus maybe if you won.
Supposedly a professional athlete.
Yeah.
Look at any other any other sport.
Yeah.
Any other sport.
And I'd have to say MMA is probably one of the hardest ones to get masterful at, and like the training, like everything.
And the toll on your body.
Yeah.
You look at how long you can do it for,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah,
something's not adding up there.
Yeah. Michael Bisping became a champion with one eye and didn't tell the UFC until after.
No shit.
Yeah. He faked all the eye checks and everything because he got kicked really hard one time and it separated something to his eye, so he was slowly losing his eyesight. He literally became I think a middleweight champion with one fucking eye, and he defended the belt for a while too. It's badass, honestly.
It's absolutely badass. But you think after you get blinded by a kick, you say, maybe I'm in the wrong profession.
Yeah, but like that's the thing I was thinking about. Like anyone can go and be a professional footballer. Like it's hard, but like you don't need to have that fight in mentality. Like those people, man, they just want to fuck people up. That's all they want to do is just smack people up.
Did you guys ever hear about Sage Northcutt? You guys ever hear of that guy before, a fighter? He was like super young, pretty boy, like fighter, in the UFC like years ago. And, he's still young. He's like in his early 30s. He fought in the UFC for a while, and then he left the UFC and went to one championship. He had like his first or second fight, and he fought like a tank of a guy. Dude literally hit him with one shot and broke the entire right side of his face. Like, go look up the Sage Northcutt knockout. He falls forward and starts seizing. Cause like,
oh my God.
And like, it's the saddest thing, scariest thing. He was like super promising up and coming fighter too. And, he just announced that he's making his return to MMA after like 4 or 5 years after getting like his face completely like letting it completely heal. Like, go look at the x-rays, dude. It shattered like his entire, like one punch, dude, from this guy. It was gnar.
Good for him to come back.
I don't even think he should. When bones break, they break again. That's like, easier. Yeah, I don't know. No, dude, it was scary to see because he like fell forward and was like on the ground, like it looked horrible. Like I think that guy's dead. Like I think that guy just died. I mean, like there have been some brutal knockouts I've seen in the UFC where I'm like, I'm pretty sure that guy's dead. Like,
no one's died yet, huh? It's gonna happen sooner or later.
No one's died yet in the UFC octagon. Or not even like after.
Wasn't the problem you're talking about like is the weight and the water cut in and shit? Like I feel like someone's gonna die because of that.
Oh, weight cutting. Yeah, there are literally people who get on the scale and pass out during weigh-ins or like fall off the scale because they dehydrated themselves so much to make weight.
Oh,
that's not good for your. So one championship, I don't think it's one championship, but there's a couple other organizations. They all do it a little bit differently, but like one championship or one of them, they take a or I think it's Bellator. They take a hydration test, and if your body's not at a certain hydration, even if and you made weight, they won't let you fight. And that's what they should be doing. It is not healthy for somebody that walks around at say 205 pounds cutting to like 155.
Yeah.
To fight at lightweight. And then because then they literally get a day or two to try and drink and balloon back up to their normal weight. That's not healthy.
Either.
No. And that's what the UFC does.
It's kind of scary.
You can literally fight at whatever weight class you want as long as you make weight. They don't care what you do to get there. I mean, Patty the Batty, you've seen him. He walks around like 200 pounds because he eats like a fucking gorge, but then he sits in a sauna and dehydrates himself for weeks and shit to get to he fights at lightweight at 155.
They just put towels and he just lays on the floor for hours in hot towels.
Really? Yep.
Yeah. Oh my God. Crazy, dude. The shit they'll do.
Suck all the water out of you. Like
your organs.
I know. It's not good.
On its blogs. Yeah.
I think they should do hydration tests, and I think it's more fair.
And again, this is all for $50,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Jesus.
The UFC starts you out as a prospect, starts you out at a 10-10 deal, meaning $10,000 to show, $10,000 to win.
Well, I guess if you promote yourself pretty hard like
That's the
Patty
thing.
did, he's making more money.
That's
He's
the
making a
only
lot more.
option they have is starting an Instagram or something else like that, and then getting their own sponsors, or like starting a YouTube channel, and then because they can have sponsors outside the octagon, they just can't wear like shirts and logos into
They
the
can't
octagon.
wear it in. Like, I understand,
No,
like, being in the ring and not having, like, I don't know, OnlyFans on your boxing gloves or
Nope,
something.
you
but
can't. Nothing. You have to wear their attire and their sponsorship stuff.
Stupid.
Dude, college players now, because college players for sports get paid.
Yeah,
College players make more than that.
I know they do.
What the hell?
I know. I think it's also we're just at like a growing point of MMA. It has never boomed more than it has in the last 10 years. You know, it's getting crazy popular, and I'm hoping with that popularity comes a fighters union or something where they can get more money. But
Competition.
I'm just gonna, yeah, Bellator, PFL, one championship of all cut. We have gotten pretty big. I will just say this though, man. Anytime somebody mentions a fighter union in the UFC, they're like immediately cut from the roster.
Yep.
They're
I
just-
believe that
they're
100%.
Immediately just like, see ya.
I 100% believe that.
Yeah,
It checks out. It's unsustainable though.
Yep. Anyways, aside from MMA, I know we're coming up. We've had like an hour and 50-minute cast, but I want to cover one more topic because I know, Ricky, you're about as mad about this as I am. Taxes. Is it theft? What do you think about taxes, Ricky?
Yes.
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 Jack, what do you think about taxes?
Oh, fuck them. What are they gonna do if you don't pay it? You know?
Yeah,
You
just
can't
don't
get
pay
us
'em.
all. Don't pay
Don't
'em.
pay taxes. Don't pay your taxes.
Don't pay
TurboTax ad told me not to.
Yeah, I
So-
literally said. Yeah, I just saw it. Don't pay taxes. So I was like, all
Yeah.
right, cool.
Deal.
Sounds like a plan.
Wicked.
Wicked.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
you
no.
Paul were just talking about using TurboTax and how it's kind of sus. And
I plan
I
on
don't
doing
know,
it this
dude.
year though for the first time.
There's still a part of me that's paranoid. I didn't file it right last year, and they're just not right, you know. But I think I'm fine. I think I'm just overthinking it.
Taxes
yeah.
really are really gross. So they're just gonna get higher and higher.
Mm-hmm.
And that gets into a long political story, but they were cut, and it was only for a certain amount of time. And after one administration left, the way it was set up was for taxes to get higher and higher for middle class afterwards, which
Yep.
is dubious.
Yeah.
But it's the have you guys looked at the brackets? It's stupid. It's fucking dumb.
I'm in the next tax bracket this year. I'm gonna be paying in, boy.
You know what sucks about that? You're gonna be in there for the next like 100 grand too.
Yep.
It's
Mhm.
dumb. So if you make, oh god, and I'm not gonna say the numbers because I didn't memorize them. Thank God, I'm not that fucking obsessed with them.
Yeah.
But you make, I think, what is it, up to? Oh my god, I don't even remember.
It's
now.
like 80K or more. You're in the second bracket then.
You're in the third bracket.
Third bracket.
Because the first
yeah.
bracket's 10.
Yeah.
It goes from 10 to 22, and it goes from 22 to 24 all the way up to 108, whatever, and then it jumps to like
Yeah.
24 or something, and it's really fucky. Taxes are fucked, and I hate that. I don't know if you guys, I hate that I have to pay in. We all do the W-2. If I claim a 0, if I take no deductions out,
That's what I do.
just why does that not just cover what I would have to pay in taxes? They know how much.
Yeah.
That pisses me off. I shouldn't have to. If I have to pay taxes, just take it out.
Yeah. Last year I literally broke even by $100. Like I got like $70.
Nice.
And now this
Hey.
year I'm fucked.
Yeah, it blows. I'm still adjusting. Last year I got dicked. This year I'm dicked. And I'm relatively new to being not getting money back in taxes.
Yeah. And like my brother, my older brother's just like, yeah. He's like, what I do is like when I have to pay in, I just literally do the lowest minimum payment they will take, and I just let it stack. He's like, I just pay him the lowest. You can do a payment plan with him. He's like, I just do the lowest minimum, pay him every month. It's like I'm not fucking no. I'm like,
Fuck
okay.
it. Fuck them.
That's what I've been
No,
told.
it's-
Get a school scholarship. Just don't pay it back. You know, there you go.
Yes.
Yeah,
There you go.
get a college loan. Yeah.
Take
Run up all
grants.
your debt, like Sam Hyde says, and then you're good to go. Just run up all your debt. Don't pay it back. What are they gonna do?
I threw my credit card in the lake. They can't find me.
Yeah, right. I'm good.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to probably paying in for like the first first year of my life. It's gonna happen though. I already know it's gonna be substantial, but that's why I've set aside money for it, and I'm just gonna pay it off all in one go, I guess.
I don't know if you want to say on stream, but I'm just curious, like, what is substantial to you? Like a couple grand, like 3, 4 grand? Like I've never had to pay
Any
back on them,
amount
so I
of
don't know.
money if
Any
I
amount
claim
is fuck.
zero. Any amount of money
Yeah,
if I claim
true.
zero is fucking ridiculous to pay in. But I think I'm
Mm,
gonna be having to pay in around 5-6 grand.
that's fuck, dude. What
Is
the
my
fuck?
guess. I'm
Scary.
Yeah,
guessing.
absolutely dicked.
I'm guessing
Yeah.
more, so I'm not maybe as mad. But I think it's gonna be about that.
Mhm. It's fucked up.
It's yeah. It's the dumbest.
It is
I
really dumb.
yeah, I hate it.
And
I
you
hate
know,
it. It's completely unfair too, and it doesn't make economic sense. We're taxed significantly more, and it just doesn't make sense. It's like not forgiving student loans. Do it. All the money will come right back into the system. Immediately back in the system. Our
Yeah.
culture in America is to spend every discretionary penny that we have, and we do it.
yeah. Have you seen that? You seen that dude on YouTube? I forget his name, but he always breaks down a lot of financial stuff. But he literally talked about what college was it? It's one of the Ivy League schools. Was it Stanford or it was Princeton? Okay. Talked
Princeton?
about Princeton. You heard about this? How like they
sure.
literally have generated so much revenue that they could let everybody that enrolled in their school for like the next, it's like an absurd amount of years, the next 30 years go for free, and they would still be making money from all the previous debt
My
of
God.
people that owe Princeton. They
I believe it.
they have more revenue than some small countries as a university. Like they make more income than some small countries.
Oh, it grosses me out so much.
And that's
It's the most
one
professional
Ivy.
mugging you'll
Yeah.
going to college. The most professional mugging
Yep.
ever experienced.
And
Yeah.
it was one Ivy League school, and there's like obviously a ton of them. That was just one study they did where like they could literally let everybody in for free for the next 30 years and or something like that, and they'd be fine. Something like ridiculous like that. Probably like off with my numbers, but it was like, you know, like I don't know. It's like you're paying for the Nike of schools at that point. It's like just fucking go get a trade. I don't know, man. Like I could
Which is what I'm fucking thinking about doing.
Trades pay well.
I do.
Unions get 401k. You get paid overtime. It's trades are great. We need trades too.
and
And I
they
hate that high schools shit on trades.
they do.
I
And
hate that.
and I hate the stigma of like, oh, you need to go to you need to go to a 4-year. You shouldn't be going to a 2-year school. Why are you going to, why go to a 4-year? Go get your master's, go get your doctorate. And then I go look at these people like, there's a guy I know that's in his like 50s, 60s. He has his master's, and obviously like he's in his 50s, 60s, so he's probably have it, hopefully all paid off by now. But he's not making a ton more money than me.
Mm.
Like he's making more than me, but he's not making a ton more money to me. And but he has like a higher up position of where he's at.
Mhm.
And I'm just like, where does that add up? Like, I started with a 2-year degree and just got a bunch of experience. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of spooky,
Mhm.
man.
No, and I don't know, degrees don't really work, and experience are much more impressive to me than a degree.
Oh,
I've gone
100%.
I've gone to college, stopped going to college, gone back to college, stopped going to college, in college again. There's a lot of people. I don't think that if you have a degree, you're necessarily smart.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people that get degrees have a great work ethic, and sometimes I don't think there is
Yeah, that's what it is.
smart. And then I think the opposite. You can have smart people have a terrible work ethic or don't find certain things interesting, and then they fail out. But they, it, it's funny and interesting, and I don't think you should be punished financially for trying to get a better education.
Yeah.
I think that's the dumbest thing.
Yeah.
Like, how is that enriching our community?
Yeah, like you want to invest in the future of the country, that's like the worst way to do it. You're just crippling them for life by
Yeah.
blanketing
Mhm.
under that umbrella of debt.
Yeah.
That just also gains interest. It'd be like it'd be different. Like like I think school should be free, but it'd be different if it was like extremely less money and no interest gained. Like, that would be like a huge, that'd be like and I don't know. And I think they do need to market trade schools better, and that is an option. There's nothing wrong with that. And I'm going to be honest with you, man. I'm kind of jealous of a lot of my buddies that are in trades. Like my buddy that knows how to do drywall, electrical, and plumbing. It's like, fuck, man. I wish I could do all that because when I buy a house, if I want to redo it, I have to pay someone to
Yes.
do that. I don't know how to do
I
any of that.
I'd love to know carpentry. I really
Yeah.
wish I. It would be so cool to be able to look at, because I mean I like to look at houses too. I considered buying a house before the pandemic and everything, like
Yeah.
literally doubled in
Same
value.
boat. Yeah.
Um, but I wish I could look at a piece of land, a plot of land, and legitimately be to myself like, oh, that'd be nice. I could build there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I could. I can't do that. It's so if you the labor is one of the biggest expenses of building a house. If you could build your own house, holy cow! I think that would be the value on that is difficult to price.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, like sometimes I just look at like even like the simplest thing, like hanging a door. Do you know how hard it is to just hang a door correctly, have it be even, and the hinges to line up and all that shit?
I know I never want to do it.
And that's
Yeah.
why I wish, like, damn, dude, I wish I had those carpentry skills. And a lot of
Kind
that.
of what
Yeah, go ahead, Jack.
Oh, sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're fine.
I was just that's kind of what I think I'm leaning towards because I like the idea of being able to build my own shit, you know? Like
Yeah,
at moment's will. Like I see people on fucking TikTok building like their own chairs and tables and shit. Like, man, I'd love to be able to
Jack,
do
try
that.
to get into some. There's a ton of like union stuff up in Duluth. You don't even need to go to school. Try to get some type of apprenticeship working under a guy that knows his shit.
Hmm.
And if you hate
straight
it,
up,
you quit. Like,
dude. It's
Exactly.
so
Yeah.
easy. Honestly, you can literally just go figure out where the union hall is and go up and say, "Hey, I'm ready to work."
my
You
hands
can
work.
pass a piss test, maybe, right? My hands work if
Yeah.
they even ask about it. But I'm willing to work. You'll start, and they'll just they'll pay you to go to school,
Yeah.
straight
Oh
up.
yeah.
Fuck. And half of your school will be working. I mean, it's fantastic. I've really considered doing that for a hot minute. I've bad back, so I
Yeah.
can't do a
Yeah.
lot of what they would need, which really
Hmm.
bums me out because
I get it, man. Yeah, that's
it
tough.
doesn't it 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 doesn't pay amazing, like relative to certain tech jobs, but I feel like it would be really fulfilling.
Like it'd be a
Uh,
fulfilling, humble life. You'd make enough to get by, especially, you know.
Yeah. Well, it
I
There's
think
depends
doing
what you
plenty of
something
do
over
physical,
involved.
yeah, there's plenty of overtime.
Yeah, it's
and
not bad.
you can be creative with it. I don't know. I think doing something physical is much more fulfilling.
100%. Then as I was
Hmm.
comparing it to like the office jobs earlier, they're soul sucking. Like I
Being
said,
outside in the sun, vitamin D is so important.
swinging a hammer is probably more fun than what I'm doing right now sometimes. You know?
Yeah.
Shooting the shit,
Yeah, shooting the
having a
shit.
Hmm.
cigarette.
I mean, there's no HR department to worry about what you
Right,
say.
yeah, that's why yeah,
Right.
that's why I'm sick of working at Target, man. People are pussies. I'm sick of it. I need like I need people with some fucking edge, you know. No one's coming to work, you know, all fucked up, you know, after a bender of coke 2
Yeah,
days like my old
yeah.
job. Like no one's has that edge anymore, you know. I want my coworker to be a fucking felon after where he's gonna steal my shit, you know. Like that's the type of people I want to be
Keeps me
around.
awake.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
keeps you alert and on edge. You
Exactly.
know, I will say this, coming out of my 2-year degree, I will say it gave me the fundamentals of IT. Maybe I didn't have, obviously like all the bookwork stuff. But when it got into job field, man, I found out very quick I know jack shit. Like, and that's where it comes to like the school thing. I have extremely good work ethic personally, very hard worker. And that's why I did very well in school. And I would say like I'm relatively smart, which is why I'm doing fine
You are
now.
smart, yeah.
But it's also just like, you're not wrong, Ricky. Like, it's work ethic is the school thing. Getting out into the field is where you really prove, can you do that shit? Like, can you keep up? Like, and you really don't learn a lot until you're in that field, unfortunately. I wish trade schools are different, right? Like, you're gonna learn.
Trade
Like,
schools are good.
yeah, like,
There's no way you can't.
yeah,
Mhm.
welding, you're gonna learn.
Mhm.
Anything electrical, you're gonna learn. Plumbing, you're gonna learn. Carpentry, you will learn like in school for sure, because you're gonna need those basics that bring you into a job. Now, when you get into in most trades, though, like when you get out of school, if you do, that's where you get to show your creative side and hone those skills, because that's where you get like you're not just presented with a book problem. You're presented with like, oh shit, this window's all fucked up. How do we make it nice
Mhm.
again? Kind of deal. I don't know. Holy shit, this is the longest cast I think we ever recorded, Ricky.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it is. It's been pretty long.
We just hit over
is that
2
bad?
hours. No, it's great.
Yeah,
Shit.
fine.
But I mean, I'm cool with calling it a show if you guys
Yeah, I'm
are.
good too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, damn, Ricky, this is an awesome time, man. Really appreciate you coming on. We'll definitely have
It
you
was
on
great to be
again.
on. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of
Fun.
course, man. yeah, hopefully have you on with maybe Jack, Travis, I don't know, Caleb, try to get like a group show. I think would be really, really fun. I think it'd be a little chaotic. I don't know. Jack and Travis on the same stream might be a bad idea.
And Caleb?
Yeah, and Caleb.
It'll be quite a bit. That'd be fun though.
Yeah, it would be a really good time. Jack, is there anything you want to say before we wrap up?
No, I got nothing for him.
Okay.
I'm good.
Well, I'll just say thank you everybody for listening. Keep an eye out for our reels, shorts, everything. We're on TikTok. Everything's in the link tree below in the description. Audio only is on Apple Podcasts. So if you don't like watching the video version and think I could look like an ugly fuckhead, you can go get the audio only version there. Anyways, thank you everybody. This was Gutterball 33. Whoa!
Chuck that fucking ball from the snack bar.